So before we get in on this, we should probably talk about a few things past the end of last episode.
Yeah?
Like, I don't know if we talked about what we thought of Natsuhi and the child, right?
Yeah.
How it seems pretty clear, because they make a point of mentioning that, yeah, Rosa was still living on the island at this time. Because Rosa is, like, markedly younger than the rest of her siblings. It seems like, given Kinzo's attitude around that the Beatrice he had in captivity died from Rosa, right? From Rosa leading her out. And then he comes to Natsuhi, he's like, here, raise this child as your own. Probably looking for another, way to raise a vessel. Because he was talking about, like, a better, like, about the empty cage and all that. And then Natsuhi winds up yeeting that child. And now Kinzo is like, ha 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 ha, and goes mad and locks himself in his room.
The odd thing about that is if this child was supposed to be Beatrice, why Natsuhi? Why not raise the child in Kuwadorian like we thought the others had been?
That's a good question. Maybe because he felt like... Maybe because he saw what happened with the one... with the Beatrice and Kuwadorian, that having them be so isolated led to them dying in this way. And maybe he thought, okay, maybe it's better if they grow up with a bit more of an insight to the outside world. I mean, if I was crazed like Kinzo is, that would be my thought process. Like, okay, this didn't work. What can we change?
Maybe.
Anyway, I think that thought was important to bring up before we move on here. Any other thoughts you want to get out of the way? Thoughts, concerns? Did we talk about Rudolph and Kyrie? I think we did, right?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Now it seems like maybe she has more control over that relationship. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay.
I guess one thing that I find interesting is the parallels between the Beatrice that Rosa saw die from falling off the cliffs and this one that Natsuhi's talking about, this baby that Natsuhi's talking about, which died from falling off the cliff.
So here's the thing. Do we now think, given that I don't think there's any disagreement between us that it seems like Natsuhi murdered this servant and this child.
I don't know.
I'm gonna... And that she's using her coping here to kind of remove blame from herself. At least that's what I think so. Do we also think that maybe that applies to Rosa as well?
It could.
The thing is, I don't see what motive Rosa would have to do that to someone.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be it's such a clear parallel that it's hard to not think about that, but also we don't have any reason that Rosa would want to kill this random kid, right? That seems strange. But it's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for wrapping up thoughts from between this episode and last one. Let's go ahead and get
one other thing I was thinking about on the subject of Rosa and Rosa's Beatrice.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't she have told anyone?
Because she just killed a child, and it seems really awkward. Like,
no, I mean, in Rosa's case, not Natsuhi's.
Oh, in Rosa's case,
and in Rosa's case, on the assumption that it's not a Rosa killed Beatrice scenario,
right?
Why wouldn't she tell anyone? If you were just a kid and you saw someone fall off a cliff and get horribly injured, would you hide it and never say it to anyone?
I mean, I might if my family was the kind that was very abusive to me. I would wonder how they would react to that news. Yeah, like, it's no secret the Ushirome family is not a loving family. It's perfectly within the bounds of reason that Rosa's like, oh god, if they find out that I was even near this, I'm gonna get, beaten and killed. Nor not killed, probably not killed, but like... And maybe she also had some inkling of what grandfather was doing on the island. Because I don't remember their conversation in full, we haven't rewatched it yet, but I do remember them talking about, like, oh yeah, grandfather, about her relationship to Kinzo. Well, I guess Rosa's father, not grandfather, but still. So that's worth keeping in mind. Yeah. That's about it for stuff that's happened since the last time we recorded, so let's hop back in and... I like having these little chats. The only problem is remembering everything that we talked about between episodes, because it can be a lot.
Father, it's Natsuhi. Good morning.
There's no way he'll wake up if you do it like that. Father, it's Ava. Please wake up. It's an emergency. Ava pushed Natsuhi aside and knocked repeatedly with all of her strength. Quiet. Oh.
Quiet down. You're being too boisterous.
Is now really the time to be saying something like that?
So he isn't picking up the phone and he isn't responding to knocking either. That's troublesome.
Sometimes considers having the slightest chance to be an oven and gets into a bad mood for reasons only he can understand.
Yes, that's true. This isn't something that started today.
That how badly grandfather wants to shut himself away in his study?
Yes. It's not uncommon for him to stay in his study for more than a month at a time.
Oh, don't tell anyone, but even though I work here, I sometimes forget the master even lives here.
Woo!
Woo! I'm not... strangely? This seems to fit more and more Goda not actually being complicit in this.
Yeah.
Like, if he was trying to sell the story, he wouldn't add that little chink in their armor, right?
Yeah, and it's especially weird seeing as he's been brought on since after this, right?
Right, so it probably and since he doesn't go in there, they probably wouldn't tell him.
Yeah.
It's because we went back and forth over whether or not we think Goda is in on that. I think it's safe to say he's. It may not be safe to say, but I think right now we're going to say he's not until we see some other evidence that would.
Goda, that's not the sort of thing a servant should be saying.
Oh, my apologies, madam. I'm truly sorry. Must have been that nightcap battler had.
Anyway.
Wait, what? I didn't have a nightcap.
No, that was mine.
Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, father might not even know there's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Cannon mumbled these words. Who was the last person to meet father? And when?
It was me. Last night, up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in father's study giving the daily report.
So at around 2300 last night.
No way around it. Let's open it up.
What did you say? This is the family head's precious study and research room. No one is permitted to trespass without permission, okay? You do not have permission without permission.
That's very tautological. Did you? I'm sure that philosophy degree was well worth all the money you spent on it. Who here holds the highest rank? Me, right? I am third in the rank of the Ushiromiya family. If we open and get scolded by father, that's also the responsibility of the highest ranked. Because of the urgent circumstances, we'll open this door. You're not my wife, right? At least not according to all those fan fictions on AO3 anyway. You have a key, right? Open it. I believe you know this, madam, but the study door cannot be opened with the master key.
The master has recently taken away Genji-sama's key as well. So he has both keys on his person. Therefore,
So both the keys that can open this door are inside the study.
A closed room, huh? Good. It's finally starting to get a little interesting. It'd be pretty neat if Kinzo-san was lying on the bed there with his throat cut.
You're being far too indiscreet,
Their
Erika-san.
face is being far too indiscreet. Boom, got him. Up top. Yeah, you have to high-five me. It's detective's privilege.
Anyway, as you know, this door can only be opened by the keys that father has. That means anyone, even a murderer, would find it impossible to even touch father from outside the room. So, father must be okay.
Still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't worry about confirming his safety. Are you really so unconcerned for the safety of the father you respect so much?
That isn't...
The atmosphere, which had been so agitated a second ago, suddenly went cold, and an eerie feeling filled the room as everyone stared at Natsuhi. They could understand why Natsuhi would protect the study under normal circumstances. People knew that she probably didn't want to disturb the research of Kinzo, a man she certainly respected. and she was therefore trying to keep the unpleasant relatives away. However, this was an extraordinary situation. A murder had occurred. Natsuhi's persistence
A
in
murder
keeping
had
things-
occurred.
A murder. Thank you. You're right. Absolutely, a murder had occurred. I can't believe I missed that. Natsuhi's persistence in keeping things quiet for Kinzo, even in a situation like this, was hard to understand using common sense.
There's a good chance that the crime occurring on this island will turn out to be plotline murders mimicking the epitaph. It's probably a good idea to assume that the murders will continue. If we view these plotline murders, then it'll keep going until a total of 13 lives are taken. Do you have a concept of how many victims that would be?
Wait a sec. How many people do you think there are on this island? Wouldn't that be almost everyone?
No, you got it all wrong. Oh wait, am I supposed to have a French accent? Well, fuck. As far as I know, the mystery novel with the most dead people in a serial murder was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which had 10 deaths.
That was one of the books we were told specifically not to read before finishing Umineko.
Wait, really? That's like the only classic mystery that I've read.
Oh, really? That was on the short list of mystery novels that were definitely influential in Umineko.
So I'm not supposed to know what I know from that?
I mean, has it helped you with anything?
I haven't thought about it. I'll have to think about that.
Okay.
In the realm of Japanese mysteries, it's probably the Tokyo Zodiac Murders by Shimada Soji. Though there were less than 10 deaths in that one. Did you know? If 13 people die, as it seems they will, it leads to the most infamous and famous development in the history of the mystery genre. The completion of a 13-person serial murder case, right? And if everyone on this island is killed, that'd make it a historical achievement in the world of serial murder mysteries. With even more deaths than the longest murder mystery in the world, and the longest one in Japan put together. Don't you see? Hey, didn't you know? Everyone, pay attention to me. This is fiction. The culprit in this crime is giving us an incredible challenge. One that might even surpass all the mysteries throughout the world and throughout history. Of course, everyone realized that long ago, right? If you like mystery, Christie is a must-read. If you're Japanese, then it's only natural that you read Shimada Shoji's works all the way through. Are you sure you've been reading enough, everyone? Nah.
It's useless.
Huh?
I only read cozy mysteries.
What? That's an abomination to the genre.
Dude, what happens in cozy mysteries? Are the crimes cozy too?
It's weird, right? Because it's like the whole idea of cozy mysteries is that you have your like sweet, like detective all, and they're like usually running a different business, but they always get called in to solve the local murders because that's what they do as their hobby, and they're well known for that. But it kind of glosses over the fact that people keep dying around these other people in these otherwise picturesque like New England towns. So it's like I'm not going to begrudge anyone their favorite genre, but cozy mysteries are extremely silly.
We need cozy.
Extremely silly.
We need cozy true crime. What's the coziest crimes that have ever been committed? Sound off in the comments.
Tax fraud? Probably.
I guess you could. Tax fraud isn't inherently cozy. You
but
could
do
get
it while doing
cozy
jammies.
Yeah, you could get cozy and then do a tax fraud, but I think we can do better than that.
Mm-hmm. Imagine this Umineko, but like instead of detective fiction Erica, it's cozy mystery Erica.
Oh no.
She can talk to dead spirits. She has a dog and runs like a yoga studio. There you go. There's the plotline for cozy mystery Umineko. $6.99 mass market paperback. New entry every 9 months.
Huh?
It looks like you haven't read enough of yourself.
Did I say something wrong?
Erica, who had been chatting away happily all by herself up until a second ago, changed her expression into a displeased glare in an instant. What you were saying about the Japanese mystery genre. Sakaguchi Ongo's non-serial murders beats the Zodiac murders.
What? Okay, maybe this is a bad time to admit I haven't read a lot of mystery fiction. I've read like Natsuo Kirino stuff. That was kind of neat. I think Grotesque was pretty good. I'm just reading book titles off of the shelf over there. The number of people was the same in both, right?
They tied for the record, but Non-Serial Murders was first published in 1947. The Zodiac Murders was in 1981. If you know so much about it, shouldn't you have mentioned Non-Serial Murders first? Are they really fucking doing math battles over mystery fiction?
Yes.
Why is this so important? Like, oh my, why is this so important? Like, I know why it's important. Clear, like, we talked about this on the podcast we were on with When We Cry, and it came up during the kickoff stream, right? Like, this is mystery. This is not anti-fantasy. And, like, Knox's rules are very much guidelines for how this was written. But it's still weird to have the characters just having reference battles. You know what I mean? It's like, no, sorry, my references are more esoteric than yours. Get dunked on. Erica glared at Battler with an expression that couldn't be fully described with the word shock, and her arms shook as she stood there, lost for words.
That's so totally crap. Well, that's understandable. The crimes in Zodiac took place in 1936, right? That must have gotten her confused, right?
Lambda Delta kept on hitting the table,
That
overcome
makes me
with
hit
laughter.
the desk.
Ow! That's not the table. That's my face. Stop it! Ow! Birdie, help! Even Berncastle, who had been struck with humiliation, snorted and started pounding the table and laughing in the same way. Ow! Still not the table! Oh, this is just too good. Not bad, Peace Battler. Ooh, that's about as active as my laughter gets.
I'm impressed. You must read a lot, don't you, Battler-san?
Books? I hardly read those at all. I'm all about audiobooks. Got some on my Walkman. that Walkman's period appropriate for the 80s, right?
Probably.
Probably. Portable tape player? Sound off.
You liar. You know quite a lot, don't you?
I'd never say something as arrogant as I'm a book reader. I'm a book reader isn't something a person who doesn't even read 100 per year should say so lightly. Don't you think?
You mere piece. What? Shut the fuck up. This is more important than whatever you've got going on, Hideyoshi.
They're like bodies. People are dead. Oh, sorry.
Anyway, we can't let such a massive crime take place.
I like how even the characters in the game board are like moving along and going back to the story, I guess. That's right. At any rate, checking Dad's safety is our first priority right now, but what should we do? It's ignoring the phone and our knocks. The keys are inside. There's nothing we can do. Supposed to knock this thick door down? It'll be easy. It's alright, I've got a chainsaw. What, out in the shed? No. You don't keep one in your purse at all times? Father might have been attacked by someone and severely injured, and maybe he's waiting for someone to help him. This is an extraordinary circumstance. Even Father will understand. And if he has any rebukes, I'll be happy to take responsibility myself.
But breaking down a door would be quite rude.
Well, then what's about the window?
That's right. The window. Is there a ladder somewhere that can reach as high as the 3rd floor? We should be able to get inside by smashing the window.
Erica finally came back to her senses and her tone regained its decisive edge.
Ow, the edge.
The 3rd story window. That would be dangerous. Ooh.
Well, we won't know unless we try. All right, because Kinzo's on the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
As they were marked exactly once and then never again. Well, I guess now it's coming up again. Well, we won't know unless we try. Is there a ladder around here that can reach up 3 floors? I'm like the 3rd person to ask this in like 4 lines.
I don't think...
No, hold on, you don't have that. I don't think the ladder in the gardening shed is long enough to reach up 3 floors.
Oh, then what about the ladder in the boiler room? Could that one reach up 3 floors? I remember using it earlier when a bird made a nest on top of the rain gutter. Yeah, that would be able to reach without a doubt.
Okay, hold on, that was important information. There's a ladder in the gardening shed, and it's not long enough to reach the 3rd floor. But there is a ladder in the boiler room, which is long enough to reach the 3rd floor. The boiler room has a door that doesn't lock that leads out to the courtyard. If Kinzo's study borders the courtyard, that opens up some interesting methods of attack.
Here's something interesting, though. Is there any case now where Kinzo's study is really a locked room?
Right, because he's already dead. I guess not. Yeah, never mind. I was just having fun with it.
But is there anything else that gets opened up by this, potentially?
We don't. Here's the thing. They've been very, very careful on not telling us which rooms border the courtyard and which ones border the outside.
And also defining things to not have a way in or out.
Right.
Rather than specifically talking about the doors, but maybe not always.
Right. I think this. We'll want to put this in our repository of very specific facts that will probably matter once in like chapter 7.
Yep.
He must have been extremely happy thinking of something Cannon hadn't. Looking pleased with himself as though he had won something, he glanced around at everyone.
Yeah? Ladders, am I right?
He was probably hoping that Natsuki would praise him, but she quickly avoided his gaze. Yeah, okay, Goda's definitely not in on this. Goda would not be shooting them in the foot like this.
Yep.
Of course, Cannon had known about that ladder too. However, in order to protect Kinzo's secret, he had intentionally pretended to have forgotten.
Lamau. But with this weather and the strong winds, isn't this just too dangerous?
If someone gets seriously injured, we can't go to a hospital until tomorrow, right?
The wind might not be as strong in the courtyard.
Does border the courtyard. Here we go.
I think it's at least worth it to take a look.
Oh, but truly going up to the 3rd floor will be quite a challenge. Back we had to clean up the bird's nest, most of the servants shrank away from the danger. And that's when I, your humble servant Goda, took on a major role in spectacularly handling the situation.
He's
Praise me.
single-handedly destroying everything Natsuki's been working to build for the past 2 years,
Praise
and he
me.
doesn't even know it.
It's so good.
Goda, you're so good.
Oh, for all we know, I'm just happened to be here on this island.
We were talking about this in the Discord, about what we think of Goda. Because he's like the one person on the island who doesn't seem to have like a motive or anything. As far as we know, he's just he is just the dude that was there that day. He is the ultimate side casualty. It's not to say something won't be revealed later on, but still, it's very it is, of all the characters, we've gotten very, very little on him.
Uh-huh.
Right, then there's no problem. Let's just get a ladder that'll reach.
And it looks like someone here already has experience with this sort of thing.
Oh, shit, I'm gonna have to do it myself, aren't I? Oh, fun. Huh?
So now we do get confirmation Kinzo's study does border the courtyard. That's
Yep.
good to know. Oh, wow. We've never seen this background.
Also interesting to think about is whether Goda was doing that obliviously or on purpose.
Yeah, because because you could make an argument to a certain point that making that kind of appeal does help sell this story more, that they really don't know what's going on. Because you're like, oh, if you really know what's going on, why would you shoot yourself in the foot like that, right? But he also took it to such a degree that it's like it couldn't help but bring the whole thing down.
My thought being, allied whether it has anything to do with him knowing Kinzo's in there, with him being part of the conceal Kinzo being in there thing. What if it's exactly the opposite of that? What if he is deliberately trying to expose that he's not?
Oh, so you mean like he's like he sees it's all coming down and he's trying to get on the good side?
That or any other number of reasons. Maybe he has nothing to do with it and simply knows that Kinzo is dead and is trying to blow that wide open or something.
If that was the case, why wouldn't he just say it?
I don't know.
All right. Interesting. The courtyard was surrounded on all four sides, so while the rain was still fierce, the winds had almost no effect. Fortunately, the ceiling jutted out just a little bit, so even the rain wasn't so bad. Okay. Let's try standing the ladder up. Please be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Sure. Wait, why am I doing this? Rudolph and Battler carried the special ladder, which was designed for work on high places. 2 umbrellas followed the pair. Shannon and Cannon were holding umbrellas and sheltering them from the rain. So they do have umbrellas. Okay. Doesn't matter if we get wet. Go back onto the eaves. Go to San. Even if there's something wrong with your knees, you can at least hold a ladder down, right? He lied about his knees to get out of going up there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. If only I had enough
What?
hyaluronin. Going up a ladder would be no problem at all. I'm truly sorry.
What the fuck is that?
Probably like a joint medication or something, or supplement.
Yeah, but like we've never heard it. Hyaluronic acid is the thing. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, it's another term for hyaluronic acid. It's an anionic, non-sulfated glycosaminoglycan distributed widely throughout the connective. Okay, this is not helping me. It forms in the plasma membrane instead of the Golgi apparatus. Oh, wow.
Wow.
What is it used for, though? Physiological function. Is a major component of articular cartilage where it's present is put around each cell. A lubricating role of hyaluronin in muscular connective tissues to enhance the sliding between adjacent tissue layers has been suggested. Okay, so it probably is a joint thing then. That's all I can find on Wikipedia after 2 seconds. I'm not holding this up anymore for that. Goda clambered forward to replace Shannon and Cannon. As she watched this, Kyria giggled. Dad, hammer. Heh, cool. I just wanted to hear you say that. Battler, you love athletics, don't you? Not as much as I love my cool handyman dad. You little brat. Sheesh, guess I gotta show this son of mine my good side every once in a while, huh? Battler, go to son, hold that ladder down tight. Oh, Rudolph's going up. Make sure you're looking up, okay? My hand might slip and you'll have this hammer tumbling down on you. Don't worry, I'll catch it and smash your head in. After putting the hammer they'd gotten to smash the window in his pocket and cracking his knuckles, Rudolph started climbing. I thought they were gonna make Battler climb, but
yeah,
no, I guess he's the next head. So like, oh, funny how that stopped mattering to Ava as soon as came to pulling rank, huh?
Yep. Will Rudolph-sama be okay?
He'll be fine. That guy could totally be in an action movie. Plus, sports are one of his strong points. Why does everyone in this fucking game board sound like they were written by a 10-year-old?
Seriously, I know. I it's got to be Lambda just being a terrible GM. I wish you'd tell me all my skating prowess is supposed to help me climb ladders.
Skating prowess? Rudolph is the next Tony Hawk?
Everyone thinks I look like me, but no one thinks I am me. I'm Ina Bauer, always in a big pinch or whatever. Ina Bauer. God, stop it with these very specific references. Ina Bauer. Okay, so it is. She is a figure skater.
Okay.
And oh no, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. And Ina Bauer is a moves in the field element in figure skating, which the skater skates on 2 parallel blades. It is a maneuver, not a person.
Is it named after a person?
Nope, but Shizuka Arakawa of Japan is famous for her flexible take on the Ina Bauer, during which she bends her back backwards until her head is upside down.
Are we sure it's not named after a person? Because it's definitely a person name.
The move is named after Ina Bauer, who invented it. Okay. There is a skater named Ina Bauer. Okay, cool. Who was still alive when this game was published. Died in 2014.
Wow.
He'll manage to avoid dying, so there's nothing to worry about. More importantly, we're really lucky the shutters aren't down. Isn't it a common practice to lower the shutters to Father's study for the night?
Yes. When we're permitted to enter and exit, we open and close them in the morning and at night.
However, I think it was decided that such a thing was unnecessary for the time being, so it was left open. I see. Father will be pretty mad, won't he? If his son smashes the window and comes in while he's sleeping. That's probably... It'll be wonderful if we didn't have to smash the window, don't you think? Both Shannon and Cannon knew that Kinzo no longer existed in this world. Natsu had ordered them to interfere as much as possible, but now that it had come to this, there was nothing the two of them could do. They had tried to interfere by pretending they didn't know about a ladder that could reach up to the third floor window, but because of Goda showing off, that ladder had been found. Rudolph carefully climbed the ladder. He would reach the third floor window very soon. As he did this, Shannon and Cannon stared at him, looking uneasy. To this, what will happen next? The two of them, to Madam, to the Master. Very soon, Rudolph will reach the window. What do you think Rudolph will do when he learns?
I don't know. So, it's already the end for this room's barrier. The soldiers are scaling the ramparts, trying to reach the other side. The moment of surrender is truly right before our eyes. I'm prepared to be erased at any moment. We can't let that happen. You have to remain alive, even if it means crawling through the dirt. Actually, especially.
What?
Let's. Do we have time for that real quick?
I'm sorry, what?
Anyway, I'll think about what to do next.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm just like, could you clarify?
Oh, good. For now, escape from this place.
By the time 8 hours have passed, we'll be entirely different people.
You may say that, but what can I do? Ava and the rest are still camped out in the hallway, and Rudolph is approaching the window. There's no way of retreat through the door or the window.
In that case, perhaps you should hide under the bed.
So I am not even permitted the chance to wait for the enemy's arrival in my throne. You might have done that while you were still alive, but now you're a ghost that Natsuhi and I brought to life. Ghosts should do what ghosts do best and hide under the bed or in a closet. Go back in the closet, Kinzo.
I don't understand your meaning.
Will something like that really deceive their eyes? My.
Don't worry. I'll be with you. I'll let you escape at the last moment.
It'll be dangerous for you. Even though you're a demon, you won't get away unscathed if you're burned by the magic-resisting toxin.
Don't worry about that. Anyway, I need things to get at least that bad before my heart starts pumping. Get those pumped up kicks, you know?
How comforting. I understand. I'll hide under the bed.
Lady, Rudolph will reach the window very soon.
The gap.
Yeah, that's me.
I've changed my mind. I'll guard this place. Hide yourself along with Ronave.
What did you say? You've got it backwards, madam. Didn't we plan to leave this place to the gap and have you retreat, milady? Though Ronave should have been used to her fickleness, this surprised him for the first time in a long while. Beato may have been a powerful queen, but she was also an important piece that mustn't be exposed to danger. Though she was strong, running to the front lines without any plan would not be a praiseworthy move.
What kind of whim is this? Huh?
It's just a whim. I'm not so fond of boredom that I could simply sip tea while leaving everything to you. I've just gotten the urge to jump into the struggle right away.
I understand. It is your game after all. You can do as you wish. I'll carefully watch over...
Nope. That's the wrong voice there.
I'll carefully watch over the corpses of the first Twilight that I erased, making sure nothing happens to them.
Sorry for stealing your time to shine.
Is this really acceptable, milady?
You should know I like showing off even more than my 3 meals a day. I've done nothing but gobble up the Gap's turn. Don't worry about it.
Ronove and the Gap both fell silent. The two of them had already noticed. Lady Berncastle, who used Furudo Erika as a piece, was a terrifying opponent. This fight would probably be terrifying as well. Beato couldn't expose the Gap, her friend, to this danger. Beato bluffed and said that wasn't the case, but Ronove and the Gap had already figured it out. Therefore, after confirming Beato's resolve one last time, and seeing that she was completely firm in her decision, they nodded in silence and accepted it.
I understand. I'll leave this place to you. I'm rooting for you. Take care.
Yeah, please watch over my efforts to your heart's content?
Lady Berncastle will probably start trying to expose Kinzo's absence with a closed room argument. Fights in a closed room are normally the Gap's area of expertise. Queens are commanders because they are best at fighting in wide open areas. This won't be an easy fight.
I'm fully aware of that. I currently serve Natsuhi. Watching Natsuhi's danger from above and letting the Gap take care of it doesn't make sense to me.
Understood. I wish you luck in battle.
Be careful, okay? If it becomes a complete closed room, we won't be able to come in and help you.
I'll laugh at them a bit, and if things get bad, I'll just grab Kinzo and run for it. It's easy. With the door and the window, the past and the future to choose from, there are plenty of places to run to. Of course, I won't let this become a closed room.
You won't see us. We'll be cheering you on from very close by, okay? Good luck.
Sure.
Let me know if you find the missing half of my dress somewhere. Very breezy with all this rain out.
The Gap and Runaway became a swarm of gold butterflies and disappeared, and Kinzo melted into the darkness beneath the bed. Do you think people will ever get tired of the joke where we call her the Gap?
Can't wait until we meet the next demon, Banana Republic. An Old Navy.
That was the one I was gonna go with.
And don't forget my old friend, Jeremy Charleston Penny.
Woo. We have fun here.
Then Beato also became a swarm of gold butterflies and melted away inside the study. After that, all figures and signs of life had disappeared from the study, and it once more regained a silence as though no one had been there from the beginning. Then Rudolph's outline slipped into view from beyond the window's curtain. Use that window breaking sound effect. Do it! Dad, if you're in there, answer. Dad! He yelled. He hit the window. His foothold was so uncertain that just hitting the window felt life-threatening. But of course, this was Rudolph, the show-off. Deciding that he couldn't do anything stupid with so many people watching from below, he suppressed the fear from being so high up, and boldly knocked on the window. Come on, grandfather. Can't he hear?
I wonder. I hope he doesn't drop the hammer.
The only thing Rudolph will drop is this beat.
Hit it, Conan. Cats.
Confused, but still down.
How many seconds have passed? It's been 30 seconds since he knocked on the window.
God, these two talking to each other is so hard to keep straight from each other.
Yeah.
They're just only subtly different.
So, he'll really smash it? The master will be very mad.
Well, someone was kind enough to brag about how accepting that anger is her duty. So there's no need to worry. Rudolph-san, that's enough. Do it.
Sure. Damn it, Dad, you better not complain after I smash it. There it is.
Yeah!
Yeah!
That's not a title drop, but it's definitely something. Air horns?
Signature sound effect drop. Oh my god, Umineko mod that replaces all the sound effects with air horns. Umineko mod that hypes it up with screen shake and vuvuzelas.
The wind chime effects are now air horns. I hate this idea so much. Oh. He hit it several times, and eventually a fist-sized hole opened up in the glass. Because of his unstable footing, this took a lot of effort. Using the end of the hammer skillfully, he brushed aside the now fractured bits of glass and opened the hole further, stuck his hand through it, and unlocked the window. Then, after a hard struggle, Rudolph somehow managed to open the window, and his body slipped through into the study. After that, he flopped onto the floor, using his entire body to enjoy the relief of having a ground under him. Dad, it's Rudolph.
Oh, now it's
Answer
playing
me.
the Halo music.
Why are you playing Halo 2? Is that the one with the Steve Vai guitar solo in it? I really like that one, but is now the time? Why is it co-op? Who are you playing with? It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa he had created inside of the mansion. A study, a library, a place to sleep, and a bathroom and a washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That's right, with all this at your fingertips, it wouldn't be hard to spend your days in this study without leaving at all. The bed was empty. There were marks on it that made it seem as though someone had slipped out, but there was no one in sight. This happens a lot in ninja movies. Someone finds the bed is still warm, so the occupant couldn't have gone far. Rudolph tried placing his hand on the bed, but he couldn't feel any heat at all. Not only was there no heat, it felt completely ice cold. And the bed wasn't the only thing that was ice cold. The air inside the room and even the presence about it, that's the right word for it, even that felt ice cold. To Rudolph, it felt as though Kinzo had slipped out of this room a long time ago. However, it's been well cleaned. No signs of having been lived in. Wrinkles in the bed, the slight angle of the chair. Here and there were many marks that would doubtlessly have been cleaned or fixed up if someone had come in to make the beds. As far as I can tell off the top of my head, Dad must have slipped out of bed several hours ago at the latest. That would be the same general time period as the brutal murder case. Guess we can't be sure Kinzo's absence and the crime are completely unrelated. For the time being, he leaned out the window, told Kyrie and the others in the courtyard to come back up since he was going to unlock the door. Then he pushed the button on the study desk and released the door's auto-lock. So he knew that the button was there all right. I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a heavy clunking sound and Nazi and the rest dashed in immediately.
Father, good morning.
Sorry, but it isn't Dad. I'm the one who opened it.
Well, is Kinzo-san there?
No. It's like someone slipped out of the bed, but you can't tell when that happened.
And Natsuhine-san was the last person to meet him, right? Around 11 last night? I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else. I'm already jumping to this conclusion even though I haven't looked around the rest of the room yet, because that's all I need to know.
But also jumping to this conclusion despite knowing that she doesn't believe in that conclusion.
Right, but she has to... She doesn't know with perfect certainty yet, so she has to play along for now.
That's... Well, we must consider Father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night, claiming to have had a revelation in a dream, and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo? Right?
That's happened before. Anyway, here's a fickle person. Right, Kumasawa-san?
That's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. Ooh, that isn't that uncommon at all, yes. Ooh.
Then where did he slip off to? Does
Man,
this mean...
it's so naked now who's in on this. But, I mean, it also hasn't... Like, they haven't been... Some of it is that we know for sure now, and the other part of it is that they hasn't really been this naked before.
Does this mean there's a good chance Father's been caught up in this crime?
See? We should have checked to make sure Father was safe from the beginning, right? We can't be sure he isn't in this room. Maybe the culprit tied him up and locked him in the closet or something like that.
That's a good point. Let's search.
This is the head's precious study. You mustn't touch things without reason.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's something I need to tell you, culprit-san.
When Natsuhi heard this said right in front of her, her heart froze. Oh yeah, because Erica's... when we saw Erica first, she was already saying Natsuhi was the culprit.
Yep.
But Erica had only just happened to be standing right in front of Natsuhi when she said it. She had directed her words to the room at large. She hadn't been speaking to Natsuhi in particular. Natsuhi turned her back on Erica, trying to prevent her faltering expression from being noticed.
I have a photographic memory. If you try to alter the crime scene by hiding some evidence, I'll know right away. Please don't slip up here and disappoint me. Any mystery where the whodunit is solved by a culprit slip-up or misspeak is only third-rate, don't you think?
I don't understand what you're saying, but try to refrain from incautious remarks. Father, are you there? Please answer me.
Natsuhi started walking around and calling out in a loud voice, refusing to let Erica say any more. There was a knock. Kyrie and the others who had gone down to the courtyard had returned.
So Father isn't here after all.
He might be tied up and shut away somewhere around here. We were just searching for him. I'm very moist, by the way. Anyone grab me like a towel? No?
No.
Well, that's very forward of you and also very rude, but I guess I don't know what else I expected. I'm surprised he managed to shut himself away in a place like this for all that time.
Give it up, Nae-san. We can't change anything now.
I wonder what Madam plans to do.
Get paid back for all the lies she's told up until now.
She fate in God's hands, all right?
Yes.
I don't know why you're making me go along with this.
Many people clambered around Kinzo's vast study, looking here and there. Inside the closet and in the bathtub, even in the refrigerator and under the study desk. They looked everywhere, almost as though they were it in a game of hide and seek. However, not only were they unable to spot Kinzo, they couldn't even find a single suspicious mark.
It seems clear that Father isn't here. That's enough. Please don't disturb Father's precious study any further.
That's right. There's nothing the Master hates more than having things moved around without his permission.
Father's nowhere to be found. Maybe he really was caught up in the crime.
Though we can't be sure of that.
Natsuhi averted her gaze once more.
It's okay, Natsuhi. We truly do have our backs against the wall. On the off chance that someone entered the study, I had planned to trick them by saying he'd probably gone for a walk somewhere. However, no one would believe that I'd get dressed up for a casual midnight stroll in a mansion where a murder has occurred and many people have been killed. No, I wouldn't put it past myself to do such a thing. Come now, Kinzo, be a good boy and hide under the bed. It's okay, Natsuhi. You may remain calm. It's possible to prove that someone exists, but you can't prove that someone doesn't exist. In other words,
sure about that?
the human
You sure that's a fact,
the
Beato?
the human world is one in which, regardless of whether something exists or not, you can make it so that they exist.
Ah, so we're finally defining exist in quote marks, huh?
And the shadows that make such things exist are themselves the world of us witches, the world of demons. You mean a devil's proof? Yes, so don't worry. The power of demons will most certainly protect you. If it could protect the honor of Father and my husband, I wouldn't mind sacrificing this body of mine to demons. Your resolve is good. Don't be anxious. I most certainly will not let Kinzo be killed.
At that time, a dry sound suddenly rang out twice. Erica had clapped her hands, seeking everyone's attention.
Hey, we've spent kind of a little while without paying attention to me, so can we all just focus all back here for a moment? Yeah? Alright, cool. That was it. You can go back. I just need it. Like, it's gotta have my hit, you know?
Though such an action should have been above a guest's place, for some reason it already felt like a natural right of hers. After all, she was the detective.
I think that's enough. Ushiromiya Kinzo-san is nowhere to be found in this study.
Yeah, we searched everywhere he could have been hiding. Dad's nowhere to be seen.
Furthermore, we found nothing that looked suspicious.
Yeah, we didn't find anything at all.
Erica said it again. They hadn't been able to discover anything.
Where is Kinzo's body?
That's a good point. Where do they keep him? I assumed they kept it up in the study, because if you're already not letting people up in there, well, that's a good place as any, right? But
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's not a good place to keep an embalmed body.
Because it's got to still be around to go in the furnace
Well,
in chapter 1. Or maybe, unless somebody else's body goes in the furnace, but somebody's got to be around.
yeah, because remember the way they identify is by polydactyly, right?
Yeah,
Which isn't uncommon.
regardless, they have to have a dead body
Yes.
around here
Yes.
somewhere
Yeah.
that can be passed off for Kinzo.
Yep.
And it seems like the place that body is not here where we thought it was being kept.
Right. That's very strange, because I like, up until this point, I thought for sure the place they were keeping his body, because I assumed they had it like embalmed and shit, and the place they were keeping it was in the room that they had masked with all the fucking chemical smell and shit, right?
Yep.
So someone has already moved it. Either that, or we're wrong about where it was kept in the first place, or we're wrong that they're keeping it and they're not just using a different body.
I mean, regardless, even with a different body, the problem stands. There has to be a body. Where's the body?
Where's the body?
Because we thought the body was here. Regardless of whether it's Kinzo's or not, it has to be somewhere.
Right.
And if it's not here, then where? In that case, we mustn't loiter around this room. Do you understand how angry Father would be if he learned that so many people were looking through his study? Ava-san, you said you were prepared to take responsibility, didn't you? Are you prepared for him to break off relations with you for the rest of your life?
That's for Father to decide, not for you.
Silence, please. I'd like to lay out the situation. At 2300 last night, the last person to meet Kinzo-san in this room was Natsuhi-san, right? Can anyone confirm that?
Firm?
Yeah, that's right. After all, the only one who claims that Natsuhi-san really did stop by here at 2300 last night is Natsuhi-san herself. It wouldn't be a problem if Kinzo-san confirmed that Natsuhi-san really did come here last night. But that vital witness isn't here.
So you're saying alibis are the foundation of a mystery?
Yeah, that's right. Alibis are important. Of course, they're almost useless when it comes to the actual theory making, but it's common courtesy to poke around those boxes.
Even though you didn't ask for alibis regarding last night's murder, you are doing it for grandfather's disappearance. You really are a fickle person.
Huh? Oh, don't worry. Have no fear that I will fully examine everyone's alibis regarding the murders of the first Twilight later. So, can anyone confirm that Natsuhi-san visited here at 2300? If no one can, we'll be forced to doubt whether Natsuhi-san really was the last person to spot him. This is how you're supposed to play the game, by the way. Have you figured that out yet?
Are you saying that I can't be trusted?
No, it's actually the opposite. I hope that you aren't the culprit. After all, that make this really boring. Only the worst third-rate mysteries have the most suspicious person as the culprit.
That's suspicious. Wait a second, how can you say that?
Oh, he's right. Calling Madam suspicious is the height of discourtesy.
Be quiet. Dr. Nanjo, Goda, thank you. Erica-san, do you have some sort of proof to justify such a rude outburst?
I'm glad we're all being so polite about this now. Yeah, I do. Though it isn't so simple, though it's so simple that it kind of annoys me. Sorry to bother you with this TV drama quality evidence, but if you don't mind.
Why don't you just let us hear it? When Battler glared at her, a cold expression rose to Erica's face for an instant, but it was only for an instant. For smiling peacefully and gazing around at everyone, she started to talk. She looked like the main character in a play who would come out onto the stage bathed in spotlight.
It's about this morning. Please remember the time after the murders occurred? During the big uproar that followed? He wanted to tell Kinzo-san about the crime, but he wouldn't come out no matter how many times we called him on the telephone. Remember that time?
Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get in contact with him? In the worst case, Father might not even know there's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Cannon mumbled these words.
Who was the last person to meet Father? And when?
It was me. Last night, up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study giving the daily report.
So, at around 2300 last night. Yeah.
Erica chuckled significantly.
And what's your point? Ridiculous.
I think Kiryu-san probably did that intentionally. Am I right?
What do you mean by that?
I hope someone might fall for it.
I see. I kind of like your energy, Kiryu-san.
I don't know what you mean by that, but thank you.
Sure. Actually, I was planning to say the same thing if you didn't.
Is who saw the master last night really that important?
Yeah. If you take the circumstances into account, then in response to the question who met him last, it was very odd for Natsuhi-san to instantly answer me.
How would she know that no one else had seen him if he were alive?
Yeah.
The only way for her to know that with certainty is to know that no one else could have met him.
Yep.
Ha ha!
Oh,
Woo!
boom. Although, I mean, you could argue that if they were just speaking casually, she was just volunteering that she was probably that person, but that's not how she answered.
Yeah.
She didn't say, like, I might have been, I was there at 11 o'clock, so unless anyone's seen him past then, I think it's me.
Yeah.
She said it confident. Yep.
Oh, why do you say that? Madam told the truth without hiding anything.
Be quiet. Why do you think it was odd?
Yep.
Why are you so sure that no one else met Kinzo-san after 2300?
Well, that's because I watched as he went to bed. It's only natural to assume that he would then sleep until morning and not meet with anyone.
Considering the circumstances, it was easy to suspect the last person to spot him of having some kind of involvement with this case. A normal person in Natsu's position wouldn't say I was the last person to meet him. I met him at 2300. Right, Kirie-san?
I agree with the rat. I don't know why you're calling her that, but apparently everyone in the Discord does, so I guess I'm forced to do so as well. A normal person would say, I met him at 2300. However, I'm not sure I was the last person to meet him. Something like that.
Okay, so that literally is the point they're playing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Good. Claiming to be the last witness is usually quite difficult. That is, unless you know something that makes you sure there were no other witnesses after you. In third-rate mysteries, the last one to spot the victim is often the culprit. They killed the victim themselves, so they know no one else could have met the culprit later on. That's how the argument goes.
Couldn't that be nothing more than a minor misspeak? It's not important enough to be picked up out of the blue and focused on. That's nothing more than nitpicking. It's a little too early to suspect after his tongue because of a little slip of the tongue like that.
Well, furthermore, you said she needed a reason to be sure no one else spotted the master, but of course she had such a reason. She left the room after seeing the master go to bed. Following common sense, it's perfectly natural to assume that she probably wouldn't meet anyone else until the next morning.
No, that isn't natural at all, actually. After all, Natsuki-san, Dr. Nanjo, and Kumasawa-san all made this claim a short while ago. Please, try to remember.
And Natsuhine-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 o'clock last night? I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else.
Well, we must consider Father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night, claiming to have had a revelation in a dream, and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo? Right?
This has happened before. I don't know why we're flashing back to 30 seconds ago, but you know what? That's just how we're going to go. Anyway, here's a freckled person. Kumasawa-san. I'll also agree with this, just because I want to keep my job. My son's college education is on the line. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. That isn't uncommon at all, yes. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, hi, Battler.
Yeah, we definitely do have testimony that it wasn't at all uncommon for grandfather to suddenly slip out of bed late at night.
It's funny with the dramatic irony that we know that parts of this testimony are wrong. But still.
Good. Your memory's not that bad, Battler-san. In other words, it's common knowledge to those in the Yushiromiya head house, Natsuki-san included, that Kinzo-san might wake up in the middle of any given night on a whim and wander around. On top of that, they're aware that this happens quite often.
Isn't that odd then? If you knew father often wanders around at night, there's no way you could be certain that he stayed in his bed until morning, right?
It really is like a third-rate mystery. You know that thing they do in the last 5 minutes where the culprit asks, when did you first realize it was me? And the detective answers,
Seriously, that's kind of why I feel let down. But turns out Natsuki-san really is the culprit. This will be worse than a TV mystery.
Okay, concept. Fourth-rate mystery where the culprit is finally like, when did you realize it was me? And the detective is like, actually, just now. I was totally on the wrong track, but like, thanks. This clears it up nice and easy.
they do that gambit? That's awesome.
That's why I want to clear away the suspicion surrounding Natsuki-san as soon as I can. I want to make sure this mystery isn't third rate before I do anything else.
There's no need to get anxious, Natsuhi. This is a classic word game used by detective wannabes. What exactly is her point? How could she possibly corner you with this accusation alone? In the court of hell, a hall of the demon jurors will declare you innocent. So calm down and don't get flustered.
It may be true that Aunt Natsuhi looks suspicious when you say it like that. Still, it sounds like you're just nitpicking to me. But it is suspicious, right? Isn't this more than enough reason to suspect Natsuhine-san's hiding something? Hiding something? Come on, Battler, hiding something?
Of all the unfair accusations. And how cowardly of you, Ava-san. You're the sole person who can confirm that I really was here at 2300 hours, aren't you?
Is this true, Ava-san?
Oh, did that happen? Haha, I'm sorry. At the time I was losing my head because of the recently discovered gold, so I forgot all about bumping into Natsuhine-san until just a second ago.
Shh, I forgot. There are witnesses that place her there for sure.
Yeah, so she couldn't lie about that.
Yeah. So,
Right, well, I mean, the fact that she was claiming to be there wasn't in doubt.
yeah, but it's one thing if she's claiming to be there and no one can see and
Right.
verify it. It's a very much another thing if she was definitely there and someone here knows it and also knows that it's enough of a thing to keep it in the back pocket.
Right. Yeah.
So, Ava-Nace, I almost called you sister. That's weird. I don't want to go into that right now, actually, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, you know what, we better not.
Can you confirm that Natsuhine-san was a witness at 2300?
Yes, unfortunately, I'm able to acknowledge that one part of Natsuhine-san's story. But only that she came out of this room.
What are you implying?
Oh, I'll tell you. In fact, I've wanted to say this for a long time now. I do realize it's improper to bring this up in the middle of such a tragic murder case, but the timing now is just too perfect. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Natsuhine-san? The servants gulped and held their breaths. It seemed that they hadn't been able to hide it after all. In the middle of this heavy silence, Ava fingered her trump card and Natsuhi tried to act calm. Both space and time grew heavy as lead and swallowed up everything.
Just when did Kinzo-san disappear, I wonder?
Erica's words, spoken almost casually, tore that atmosphere to pieces like shattering glass. Simply put, we haven't met him once at the family conferences this year or last.
That's right. We've suspected it since last year. Seeing as how my son and the others have just been killed, this may not be the time or place to press you on this, but there's a chance this has something to do with the crime, so pressing you is just what we'll do.
Now remember, Hideyoshi, if you want to press, you have to press the R button.
I see. Like so?
Like exactly like that. And then sometimes you'll get additional information. And that information can add to the witness's testimony and allow you to present evidence to new statements. You don't actually learn this until like the second case of the game, but you know.
It's possible that you have a motive for hiding Father's death. We have reason to suspect that you're embezzling his assets. If Father were to die, an investigation would be conducted for the distribution of assets, and your embezzlement would be exposed. That's why you hid the fact that Father is already dead.
Oh, I see. That's more than enough for the why done it. This keeps getting more and more third rate, though. Nah, boring.
I don't know what you're talking about. You say I'm hiding the head's death. I most certainly won't forgive such a reckless accusation.
Oh, that's right. In addition to Madam, the other servants take care of the master on a daily basis, and they see him all the time.
Oh no, Goda!
Oh, Genji-san, Sharan-san, and Canon-kun. Even Dr. Nanjo Kumasawa meet with him often. Perhaps because he doesn't trust me, I haven't seen him even once since last year, but,
Be quiet, Goda.
Ah! My apologies.
Aren't all of the witnesses, besides Natsuhi-san, servants that are employed by her? So you use money to make them follow your story. Ah, man, this is really third rate. Pitiful, pitiful. I'm disappointed, Natsuhi-san. So I guess I'll have to finish this now.
Finish what?
Finish him! Ushiromiya Kinzo-san.
What is it, uninvited guest?
You don't exist, do you? You're a ghost whose death was concealed by those humans who didn't want it known because of the inheritance problem. Ghosts are quickly supposed to pass on to the next world. Even though this is the first time we've met, I've yet to give you a proper greeting. My apologies. Good day. Pleased to meet you. And goodbye.
so close to Erica's face that you could barely have wedged a sheet of paper between them. Beato's pipe came to a sudden stop.
And a good day to you, too. I'm the Ushiromiya family alchemist, Beatrice the Golden.
Oh, can I hit that?
Sure. I'll be your opponent in this fight from here on out.
Glad to meet you. I'm the detective of this game, Frodo, Erica. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Nah. And now, goodbye.
So, you're Lady Berncastle's next
Ooh,
piece
what is
after
this piece?
Angie.
Hold on. Yeah, listen to that.
I'm afraid I didn't get to fight with her to my satisfaction in the end. I'm glad I'll be able to lock horns with you this time, Lady Berncastle's piece.
My master is almighty, omnipotent. A fool like you couldn't even begin to compare with her. I accept your challenge.
You really are calm. Even though a witch has appeared before you and is about to fight with magic and fantasy, if you were a battler, you'd be lying on the ground, screaming that this can't possibly be a mystery anymore.
I'm sorry, do I look like battler to you? Yeah, even in the mystery genre, parallel universes like this have gotten pretty popular lately. You know about pure reasoning space and all that. Mind palaces and whatnot.
Ayatsuji Yukito doesn't make his debut until next year. It hasn't come out yet. His book hasn't come out yet. I can't believe this is coming back. I can't believe this has become ascended micro meme.
Yep.
Yeah, you sure are piggy for a witch.
You think you're on the same level as a witch? Don't be so full of yourself, you mere human.
When Beato snapped her fingers, something bounced around the room at terrifying speeds. It was a stake of the witch. A witch's wedge that contained the power of the blue truth within it. Of course, a mere human like Erica couldn't follow that terrible speed with her eyes. Erica understood this, so she didn't attempt to look every which way, stupidly trying to spot it. Eat this, fool! With a terrible sound, Lucifer's blue stake buried itself into Erica's right collarbone. It pierced all the way through her back. Later, bitch. Lucifer spun and rebounded, landed in front of Beato, and vanished with a shrill laugh. Erica wasn't blown back, but she had been run through by the blue wedge.
So, this is that so-called blue truth. Well then, let me hear your views.
You can't deny the possibility that Natsuhi met with Kinzo at 2300 hours. During the 6 hours or more before you pushed your way into the study, Kinzo had many chances to escape from it.
Very strange to see Beato fighting with the blue.
Yeah. Because of this, you can't state decisively that Kinzo doesn't exist.
Beato announced that with an expression worthy of her title as a witch. Erica was silent. Was she too shocked to speak? There was no anguish in her expression. She was just quietly listening to Beato's blue truth. No, judging by her disdainful expression, it's probably more appropriate to say that Beato's words went in one ear and out the other.
Good. Let's start with the classic moves. By the way, this thing is really stuck good. I can't take it out.
She tried pulling from the front and the back by the blue wedge that pierced her, but it didn't budge an inch. However, her indifferent, relaxed expression didn't budge an inch either.
You can't take it out. The blue truth can only be defeated by the red truth. For one such as yourself, a guest who came to this island at most a day ago, there is no truth that can possibly be known. That means there exists no red that you can use. In other words, this is checkmate.
I see. So that's what kind of space this is. In that case, I'll need a piece suitable for fighting a witch. I'm the detective after all. My role is to take on the human culprit. You are a witch. And there does exist a fitting piece to use against witches and demons. Let me introduce you. Miss Delanor, it looks like it's your turn.
Delanor? I thought so. I was certain you'd bring in that piece sooner or later. The 10 wedges with which to hunt witches, the Archbishop of Witch Hunting, Delanor, which definitely isn't Ronald backwards.
Oh, it is Ronald backwards. Why is it Ronald backwards?
Is it like was Ronald Knox the
Was
guy?
that Knox's name?
Is it? I bet it is.
I let me take a look real quick.
I feel like it was an R name. Like Knox had an R name.
There is a Ronald Knox, an English Roman Catholic priest, theologian, author, and radio broadcaster.
Look for Knox's rules and find what Knox it was.
Knox's 10. Yeah, this is the Knox.
Okay, it is the Knox. Okay.
Yep, that is Ronald Knox. Yep.
There's no more fitting peace than a battle against demons. I have my double Erica and the greatest natural enemy of witches, Lanor. I've now taken control of the 7th rank of with my 2 rooks. Let me show you, Lambda Delta, and you too, Beatrice. Now you'll see how useless your struggling is.
What the fuck?
Why does
she have an
nobody's-
arm cannon?
Why does nobody's dress go all the way around?
Right?
What is this? Atelier?
No, it's the fucking. Oh my god. The arrow shone brightly, and the piece Erica had guided there showed its form. The form that resembled a clergy member, perfectly suited for confronting an evil
Yeah,
witch.
this resembles a clergy member. Yes.
Okay.
This is what the clergy looks like.
Yes, this is exactly what it looks like. I had the existence of this character spoiled by a video thumbnail at one point, but I had no idea how they were related to anything.
This looks like a type moon.
This she does look like a type moon. Holy shit! Why does she have an arm cannon? I'm still on about this.
For you using on the witches.
I see. I feel like I've taken all the new characters. Like, you'll want to take this one?
I can, although the one problem is going to be this character is going to exist solely to debate with Beato, I bet.
Oh.
So I bet that I...
Okay.
But I totally can.
I could do it if you'd rather.
I can.
Yeah, if they're only going to talk to Beato, then it makes sense. Okay. Can I pull another voice out of my ass is the question.
I also don't have any new voices, so I think it's fine if it's just a voice.
Yeah, let me think for a moment. I don't think I've given anyone like the sickly sweet feminine voice yet.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Lanor A. Knox is my name.
Even though the space was like a bomb just waiting to go off, she introduced herself in a neat and frank manner. Her out-of-place appearance and completely different from those of the demons and witches felt blatantly odd and had a kind of severity to it.
This is the first time I've met you, but I've heard all the rumors, so this doesn't truly feel like a first meeting.
The same goes for me, Miss Beatrice. The detailed materials Eisern Jungfrau has on you are summarized in 600 pages. I always read such reports, so this doesn't feel like a first meeting to me, either.
The Secretary of Hell could summarize those 600 pages into 6 letters.
Allow me to ask.
Yes, here it is. Here it is.
Oh my god. She's that guy.
Bampton?
Yeah, she's Bampton. Danger.
A fitting summary. When I return, I will summarize the materials on you using only 2 letters more, out of respect.
Executed.
So I'm cute now.
What the fuck is happening? This is like computer bullshit, right?
You're too polite, my guest.
Then let us continue.
I figured it was executed like blam.
Oh, maybe that too.
Miss Beatrice, I, Lanor, the head inquisitor of heresy, do humbly accept my role as your opponent.
My first move is over. If you can't remove the blue wedge from that Furodo Erika over there, then you might as well totter back up to heaven and get back to your usual boring job of stamping forms.
Please do something about this wedge thing. It itches a little bit. You like give me like a rash? Was it sterilized?
Absolutely not.
Can we get like an alcohol swab or something? Looks like Beatrice-san thinks she's already achieved checkmate with this alone.
After making a show of tapping her finger on the blue wedge that pierced her, Erica shrugged as though taunting Beatrice.
Beatrice. It's okay. I'm just toying with her a bit. After all, if things get bad, I can grab Kinzo and run out of here whenever I want. I can leave this room at any time and go anywhere.
That is useless.
Oh?
Now that you've met up with me, this is your
Demise.
escape will not be
Permitted.
None can escape.
Escape.
True, we can't deny that it'd be possible for Father to suddenly wake up and go somewhere. But you know what? I can say for sure that such a thing couldn't have happened. You know why?
How could I know? Are you trying to say you stood outside this door all night, watching to make sure the head didn't take a step outside?
Yeah, someone was watching. This kid right here.
What the fuck
is happening?
Okay, I'll take whoever the fuck this
Okay,
is.
please help me. Wait, I feel like hard read. These are going to be a bunch of stake characters. All right, hit me. Also, what is this music? Hold on. Let that
This is great.
What a fucking bop. Straight off the beat. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Please allow me to speak. Let it be known that entering or exiting through this door is impossible. The palace guards are ordered to blockade the study door.
The doors to heaven opened with a strong, unrelenting radiance like the sun's, announcing the arrival of Delanor's underlings. Those words were clad in the red truth and cut off the witch's method of escape.
I don't remember what voices they had.
They had very sassy yeah voices.
Chester 420 right here.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Chester 45 right here. It has become some time, Great Lady Beatrice. We were dispatched in accordance with Alliance Agreement number 1516 and a request from the Great Court of Heaven. We apologize for the rudeness that is to follow. We formed a precision blockade on the study door, yeah?
Yeah, this one, blue hair was way more sassy, and pink hair was very like, ah. You know what I mean?
I think it's best if you stay away from it, yeah? Allow me to speak, I say again. From last night at 2300 until the present time, the study door was not opened even once.
What the fuck? How can you know? Oh, the red barrier. Interesting. The red barrier Shannon had up related to the red truth somehow. Never mind.
What?
She did the receipt trick.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you did.
What is that scrap of paper?
It is a completely ordinary receipt. But even so, this mere scrap of paper proves that you lied.
Last night, when you came out of the study, Ava saw her chance and wedged a receipt into the crack of the study door. And it fell down just now when Rudolph Kuhn opened the door for us.
You know what that means? In other words, from 2300 last night until now, Father couldn't possibly have opened this door.
What is that you say?
Rudolph, the window was locked, right?
Yeah, that's why I smashed the glass.
The other windows are all locked as well. They're built so that you can't lock them from the outside.
Another one?
Yeah, okay, so just give them all the same voice like I did for the stakes.
Yeah. Allow me to speak.
Look, you got like a funny accent you can give them.
Know that the windows were all locked. Palace guards blockade all of the windows. By the name of Eiserne Jungfrau, I give the palace guards permission to make use of forbidden weapons.
Hey, it's the other Chester.
I forgot what voice she had too.
Probably a more serious version of the Chester. You can just, yeah, fold them all in the...
Understood. Entire force, permission granted for use of forbidden weapon. Red warhead. Begin transmitting activation code. Nya? The password doesn't work, nya. 420, turn caps lock off and try again.
Yeah, they're speaking with fucking computer jargon again. God damn it, Chesters.
Chester Squad, precision blockade for study door and all windows complete. We warn the Great Lady Beatrice that if anything is caught passing through these physically, conceptually, or by any other method, we will shoot without warning. Data link from Archangel Satellite 4. Homing format, verdict model, conceptual guidance. And on top of that, we've got red warheads, yeah. Impossible to shoot down, impossible to avoid, impossible to survive when hit. It'd smash even Lady Beatrice into little bits, yeah.
The Chester Squad had laid down a pinpoint blockade over the door and all the windows. Escape would no longer be permitted through any of these.
My, I should be doing the welcoming, but it seems I'm the one being welcomed. I'm grateful for the courtesy call, and you've even brought the Chester sisters.
Yeah, you were wondering where we were this entire time.
Allow me to inform you that your paths of retreat have been cut off. Commander Delanor, let us now remove the sin and purify.
You've done well, Miss Beatrice. I've had your paths of retreat terminated. You cannot leave through the door, nor can you leave through the windows. Therefore, escape will now be prohibited.
You think you've shut me in with this alone?
I like the face on this one over here. They looked very normal face. The Inquisitor of Heresy in heaven and her subordinates surrounded the witch. The subordinates used a powerful barrier to cut off Beato's methods of escape. Demons tend to resist capture, and as a result, they sometimes escape. However, angels counter by blocking off passages of escape, allowing them to eradicate their targets without fail. In other words, this study was a perfect closed room, from the time Natsuhine-san claims she said goodnight, to the time Rudolph opened the door.
In that case, Father would have to be here, but there's not even a trace of him. Come on, what the hell's going on? God. I keep telling you to calm down.
I've tried, but have you heard this music? It's an absolute bop, I tell you. It's a bop.
The thought that I, Beatrice, could be shut in just because the doors and windows are closed is simply laughable. Kinzo, I was just playing around, but it seems our guest has no such intentions. Let's withdraw before we lose our chance. Yes, I would not regret losing this life of mine, but for Natsuhi's sake, I cannot die yet.
Beato waved her pipe, and the air was split vertically. Then a pitch-black gate appeared there and slowly opened. It was a warp portal, the same as the pitch-black holes that the Gap used.
I believe this was written on my files. An elusive phantom can appear from anywhere and disappear to anywhere. As long as Kinzo has me, it'll be impossible to capture him.
The pitch-black gate opened. That gate led from everywhere and to nowhere. Both Beato and Kinzo would be sent to a place where no one could catch them. A place where no one could set foot in, much less chase after them.
This is the study of the Ushiromiya family head, and it is also a room that Father helped to design personally. Would it really be so strange if he had some way to get outside without using the door?
Yeah, that's correct. There would be nothing strange about the Master having a hidden door.
I love how anytime anyone says anything, Goda's like, yeah, you're right, yeah, that's right. And then someone says something else, and Goda's like, no,
Yeah, you
you're
totally
right.
got that.
Yeah, that's right. You got it.
You go. Yeah, I just want someone to acknowledge me.
A hidden door? And where would that be?
It's a hidden door, so I don't know. There are several devices and hidden doors in this mansion that only Father knows of.
Is she just saying that, or is that a fact?
I wonder.
If that's a fact, that's wild.
No one has seen them directly, but everyone in this mansion knows about them vaguely, correct? Yes.
It is true that there have always been rumors about hidden passages that only the Master knows of.
It's true that Kinzo-san will probably like devices such as and they are hidden doors after all. No matter how much people such as ourselves might search, it's only natural that we won't find them.
I see, so it's a devil's proof. You're saying that we can't deny the possibility of it that a hidden door exists in this room. That's nonsense. That's a farce. Even considering that your lie about concealing Father's death is about to be revealed. How dare you?
That's right. Just where in this study is there a hidden door? Try and prove that it exists. Proof is unnecessary. It's a devil's proof. It's impossible to find a hidden door, and therefore impossible to disprove that it exists. Therefore, no one can deny the possibility that Kinzo escaped from this study through a hidden door.
Please also leave the track name for this one in the comment section, because I need to find the soundtrack this was on. Damn, girl!
I will not allow a hidden door to exist in this room.
Beato's blue wedge, which had been fired off as a farewell gift, was crushed with a flash of Delanor's longsword, and the pitch-black gate was crushed as well. And it wasn't just crushed visibly and physically. The warp portal conceptualizing hidden doors would remain destroyed from that point onward.
Interesting.
Okay.
Why can someone like you, who is neither the owner of the study nor the game master, use the red truth? And what was that? What do you mean you will not allow hidden doors to exist?
It's because this is the mystery genre. Knox is third, after all. It is forbidden for hidden passages to exist.
Should we take all of Knox's because we talked about Knox's truth a couple of times now. Or Knox's rules. Should we be taking those as sacrosanct then?
We were told they differ because the ones that were quoted differed. So
Yeah, the ones that are quoted in the game differ slightly from the ones that are actually laid out.
so we should consider them, but
Yes, we should definitely consider them. But this does seem to fold into the, this is mystery, not anti-fantasy. Right?
Hidden doors mustn't exist in the mystery genre. Nah, sorry about that.
In this world, there are no other gods except our god, and no hidden doors exist. They must not exist, and we will not let them exist. They are blasphemy against our god.
hidden doors don't exist. If I have anything to say about it, blam.
There, now it's a visible door.
Enough pride in you to shock a witch. It's so painful to watch that it's actually pleasurable. Here it is, the 10 wedges to pierce witches. Just like usual, it's the kind of irrational argument I just love to hear.
What a fool. The devil's proof might have been vague enough to let you escape from everything until now, but now that you're up against Lanor, that move won't work anymore, Beatrice.
As I thought, you're no different from any witch after all. I'm disappointed.
Disappointed!
Oh, that was from Hercules, right? The TV show, the one that
Yeah.
Xena spun off of?
Yeah. Beato. It seems this isn't an opponent we'll be able to escape from easily after all.
Please do entertain me, Beatrice-san. You should at least serve some tea for your guests. It doesn't even matter if it's third rate. Come on, please, use the blue truth. And tell me how Kinzo-san escaped from the closed room study.
Very well. Make sure you don't cry. It's possible that after slipping out the door, Kinzo noticed the trick with the receipt and correctly returned it to its original place.
Denial of that with the red has already been finished. After 2300, the door to the study was not opened even once.
Kinzo might have been a marvelous magician and an inventor, right? He might have invented a drug that turns his body to mist and slipped out through the keyhole.
No such drug exists. It must not exist.
Or maybe he invented a teleport device, right?
Wow, Beato is really desperate here.
That possibility is undeniable because of the devil's proof.
Such a machine does not exist. I will not allow it to exist.
Oh, so you can examine every drug in the world? You can deny the existence of unknown scientific devices? There's no way you can. It's a devil's proof. You cannot deny that they might exist.
I will repeat. By the name of God, I will not let such a drug nor machine exist. I will not allow them to exist for all eternity.
Not even in the future. So you think you can even deny possibilities in the future of the human race?
Look at her smug little cat face.
Yeah, that one's Knox's fourth after all. It's forbidden for unknown drugs or hard to understand scientific devices to be used.
The progression of humanity, as well as techniques and knowledge that might be obtainable in the future, are decided upon by our God. And the denial of their existence has been proclaimed for eternity. My throat is getting raw. Could someone please hand me a glass of water? Therefore, I will not allow for such a technique to exist for all eternity. It is not
permitted.
Beato and Delanor had supposedly just gone through a massive exchange of red and blue. However, not only did Delanor not take any damage, she also showed no signs of fatigue. Beato might have been a fearsome witch, but blood flowed through her veins and she did breathe. She felt both pain and fatigue, but Delanor was like a doll made of marble. She felt no fatigue, no pain, no hesitation. Even if Beato's sharp wedges hadn't aimed right for Delanor's eyes, she wouldn't have shut them. In fact, it is doubtful that she ever blinks in the first place.
Beatrice, hang in there. Well, I'd already heard the rumors, but our compatibility really is awful. To think that dreams, hopes, and even future possibilities would be forbidden. The pride of the gods is overwhelming. I'd expect no less from a witch hunt executioner. It seems we'll never be able to enjoy a drink together.
Even the strikes that had made battlers surrender over and over had absolutely no effect on Delanor. Well, I more or less knew that was coming, but to think I'd be repelled so easily.
Quite a formidable opponent.
I like how her way of fighting back is like, no, that argument is stupid. Because we're finally reining in some of the more fanciful bits of the first one, right? No, we're firmly in mystery territory now. If your answer doesn't fit in with the mystery genre, it's not the right answer.
Oh my, so even the great goldsmith has gotten old and decrepit. Hearing those words come out of your mouth is rarer than seeing two comets in the night sky. I'm not decrepit, I'm already dead. That's true. Sorry, but I'm not letting you die for just a bit longer.
Beato experienced something she'd only rarely felt during her entire life. It was probably what we'd call hardship.
That doesn't track at all.
It does with the Beato raised in Kuwadorian.
I think that sounds like a hardship.
No, here's the thing. It's not hardship. It's because you have your every need accounted for. Anything you could ever want. You can't leave your gilded cage, sure. But you don't experience hardship.
I think being locked up in a mansion and abused by Kinzo your whole life is probably quite a bit of hardship.
I think it sucks. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm saying that you could argue it's not hardship. Beato quietly brushed aside Natsuhi's hand that tried to comfort her, and she regained her posture again, showing off her witch's pride and her continued readiness to fight. Is that all? There was no need for me to come here. I am disappointed.
I'm not done yet. I was just testing a few moves just now. I merely wish to measure your abilities. How foolish. Know your place, Golden Witch. Lady Beatrice.
Beato's expression became tense once again. No longer was there any trace of mischief. The mood changed.
The time for playing is over. Here I go. In that case, I shall acknowledge that Kinzo did not enter or leave the study. Why don't I accept your closed room? Let it be known that Beatrice has changed her pattern of attack.
And it appears the music has also changed to
accommodate.
Beatrice, who had until then thoroughly resisted the idea that a closed room existed, did an about-face. She proclaimed that she accepted their proposition. Of course, this didn't mean that she'd surrendered. This was a new attack of Beato's. Delanor noticed this and readied herself.
What's going on? Why did Lady Beatrice acknowledge the closed room when she's trying to destroy it? Yeah. She's probably trying to claim that Kinzo existed outside of this room. Confirmation that the great Lady Beatrice's warp portal has reactivated. Natsuhi claims to have talked with Kinzo in the study, but she never said that she spoke with him face to face. Therefore, if Kinzo was in a location other than the study, there's no contradiction as long as they held a conversation.
After bouncing at an erratic angle, the witch's stake pierced through the top of Delanor's foot. You sure are slow. Top of the foot, all mine.
Natsuhi used the internal phone line in this study to speak with Kinzo, who was in another place. There'd be nothing strange if Kinzo, who hates the relatives, predicted that they'd enter his study and left to go elsewhere. He might have gone to the hidden mansion Kuadorian.
As Natsuhi knows about Kuadorian.
Maybe. I mean, we know that there are things that are confusing here.
Yeah,
right?
this is abstracted to a certain degree, but because obviously stuff like, oh, they're talking about books that don't exist yet, right?
Yeah.
But still, worth considering.
Yeah.
Asmodeus' stake, which contained the power of Beato's blue truth and pierced Delanor's foot, changed into a blue wedge.
Not bad. That makes sense, yeah?
Whose side are you on, Blue Bunny?
Blue truth. Valid.
A cyclone of gold butterflies swept up with Beato at its center. The magical power of the once smashed black gate was once again refilled. If I can manage to hold Delanor off here, I'll be able to warp Kinzo out of the study this time, all the way to Kuadorian. Delanor moved clumsily, trying to pull the blue wedge out of her foot, but it didn't even budge. Of course, Beato didn't miss this chance. No witch would.
I've got more, so get ready. There's a chance the Kinzo Natsuhi mentioned does not refer to the person himself. The Kinzo Natsuhi spoke of might have been another name for this room, right? Kinzo had taken refuge in Kuadorian and was impossible to contact. Perhaps Natsuhi called this room Father, and by contemplating inside it, she felt as though she had received some sort of revelation from Kinzo.
That's so close to the truth, it's weird.
Yeah, it's just notably the one difference from the truth is that this one lets Kinzo still be alive elsewhere in Kuadorian.
Yep.
Other than that, it's exactly what happened.
Yep.
We've stopped your movement, and you've already lost.
Beelzebub's blue wedge pierced the base of Delanor's neck. Of course, this didn't even cause her to flinch, but her movements were restricted even further. Interesting. Is that all?
You don't call it a full-course dinner if you stop at the soups and hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, I do.
That's fucked up.
Nah, I've just been on a diet lately. You know, the pandemic has hit us all differently.
Oh, that's fair. No judge. No judgies. Anyway, I'll hit you with the main dish and the dessert.
No judgies.
Yeah, no judgies. I'll hit you with the main dish and the dessert at once, so watch your stomach explode as you die.
That's a very pointed reference.
I know, right? Even if, as you say, this is a closed room and impossible to escape from, you can't deny the possibility that he's still hiding in this room. I'm not talking about a hidden door. He might be under the bed or above the ceiling. He might be hiding in a truly unobtrusive blind spot that only demons could know of, right? Or it might be that Natsuhi, who was ordered to speak specially on Kinzo's behalf, considered herself both his representative and another Kinzo. Ooh. In other words, it's possible that Natsuhi was also Kinzo.
That's a bold theory. I don't know if I believe that, though.
I've got plenty more. As 2300 last night, Kinzo escaped out the window. Natsuhi watched him go, then locked the window. This doesn't lead to any problems. In fact, it might be the most beautiful blue truth yet. How's that, Delanor A. Knox? There are many ways to escape from this closed room.
Know your foolishness in trying to oppose my master. There's no need for you to argue back. Just lose and sleep for all eternity.
The seven sisters appeared from Beato's golden tornado, one after the other, piercing Delanor with blue wedges. 4 blue wedges were buried into her neck, chest, gut, and thigh, including the one buried into the top of her foot. She was punctured by 5 stakes.
Beatrice-sama, when's my turn?
I'll use you if I think of any more. Be quiet for now. How do you like that, Delanor the Witch Hunter? After skewering and burning so many witches in the past, how does it feel to be skewered by a witch this time? Some people are into that, you know.
They were all ridiculous arguments, but they all came fiercely one after the other. Though a total of 5 wedges pierced Delanor, her expression didn't change in the slightest. However, her movements had indeed been limited.
Whew, witches sure are scary, nya. You can't beat twisted logic, nya. They don't violate the Knox Decalogue. It's valid. Well done, Beatrice. Even if there was no one in the study, and even if it was a closed room, that alone isn't enough to deny Father's existence. Against a normal opponent, I think the matter's settled by now, but this is Delanor, head inquisitor of heresy. This ruthless woman killed even her father when he violated the Decalogue. Kinzo, now.
Right. Now that Delanor had been pinned down, this was their last chance to recover their magical power and escape. Once again, a pitch-black gate began to rise slowly in front of Beato and Kinzo. Though the gate had once been opened by simply drawing in the air, it wasn't so easy in the study now, as it was filled with the power of denial.
What do you think, everyone? No matter how much you question the state of this study, you can't question whether or not Father is in good health.
Oh, so you say. Both you and I had better not forget that we were part of this battle, right? I can't fight against witches, but I can fight against you. I'd like to use a special technique I call the "and one more thing."
Here's the puzzling thing. We've got that's really funny. It took me a sec to process.
I was wondering if you were going to let that one go by. All right.
So we have Natsuhi's mental world here.
Yep.
That's also got this other stuff from outside it that doesn't seem like it makes sense there. But also Erica's part of it as a supernatural being, but also Erica's there as a human. It all just does not fit together in a way that is a simple, coherent Natsuhi is imagining this thing, I don't think.
It does. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. But also, we don't suspect the events on the game board are actually happening, per se. Erica grinned at Natsuhi while a smile more demonic than a real demon's.
Natsuhi-san, let me just ask one more time. Last night, you're sure you spoke with Ushirimiya Kinzo-san, right?
Yes, I have said repeatedly that I came to deliver a report for the day and to say goodnight.
This may be a strange thing to ask, but since it's needed to prove your innocence, please answer me straightforwardly. This Kinzo you speak of is the Ushirimiya Kinzo-san we all know of, right? It isn't a different person or thing with the same name, is it?
I'm not really sure what you mean.
It's like this. You didn't, for instance, start calling this room itself Father after Father's death, right? That's what she's asking. I'm sure several people on the message boards were forwarding this theory, which is why it's being denied specifically now. You said you gave a daily report to Father before you went to sleep, right? That doesn't mean you gave a daily report to the wall here all by yourself inside a study called Father, right?
How rude. Nothing of the sort happened. Father is Father. He is in good health, and I most certainly gave him a report and said goodnight to him last night. I'm not trying to trick you or talk my way out of anything.
I see. In that case, can you repeat what I'm about to say? If you aren't tricking or deceiving us in any way, you should be able to do it.
Fine, I'll repeat whatever you want.
My name is Ushirimiya Natsuhi, and I'm a big dunderhead.
My name is Ushirimiya Natsuhi, and I'm a big dunderhead.
I've got him! Up top! Detective's privilege! Repeat it! Ushirimiya Natsuhi did at 2300 last night. Speak with Ushirimiya Kinzo while in the same room as him, this room.
Ushirimiya Natsuhi did at 2300 last night. Speak with Ushirimiya Kinzo while in the same room as him, this room.
Good. I'll just check the subtitles and yep, you had to quote it. Alright, good to know. Then I'll ask one last thing. Seriously now, Natsuhi-san. You didn't do anything like throwing Kinzo-san out the window after your conversation and locking the window behind him, right? Because everything still makes sense if you did.
Why would I want to chase Father out the window? This is intolerable. This mockery is intolerable. Please allow me to speak. Let it be said that when Natsuhi refers to Kinzo, she means Ushirimiya Kinzo and nothing else. Please allow me to speak. Natsuhi claims to have met face-to-face with Kinzo in the study at 2300.
Natsuhi let out a cry, but it was too late. She had been totally suckered in by their provocation. Blue wedge to the foot representing a telephone discussion. The blue wedge to the neck representing the study itself being called Kinzo. The blue wedge to the gut representing Natsuhi herself being called Kinzo. The blue wedge to the thigh representing Natsuhi letting Kinzo escape out the window and locking it afterwards. The four of them were smashed up with a thin sound. Because Natsuhi, the one who knew the truth, had denied them. Those denials had gained the power of the red truth. Despite Kinzo's absence in this closed room, Banto had introduced 5 ways that Kinzo could still exist. The one who knew the truth denied them this night. We'll come back to this in a moment. Nazi had carelessly crushed the premises behind the 4 of those herself. Only one wedge remained. In other words, this was the last blue truth that could bury the contradiction of Kinzo existing in the study at 2300, but not existing there later after it became a closed room. It was only the theory that pierced Lanor's chest. Kinzo was hiding somewhere in this room. That theory, even if Kinzo wasn't present in this closed room study, he could still exist there. If this wedge of Satan's were to be crushed, their chances of escaping this room would become hopelessly dim.
Beatrice-sama, quickly, escape while you still can.
Lanor slowly grasped the final wedge, which still pierced her chest. Apparently that vice-like grip was hurting Satan, as though all the bones in her body were being broken.
All that remains is this one
Wedge.
It was about Kinzo hiding somewhere in this room.
Correct.
As the detective, I searched all those places. If I didn't find him, just where could he be hiding?
With the final wedge still sticking out of her chest, Lanor slowly approached Beato. This wedge was taken out then.
Allow me to
Ask.
Just where in this study is Kinzo?
Hiding.
Well then, maybe he's under the bed.
A check of that place has been
Finished.
Maybe he's in the bathtub.
A check of that place has been
Finished.
Inside the closet, under the desk, behind the curtains.
A check of that place has been
That's
Finished.
a good face.
Check.
Finished.
Check.
Finished.
I love that face.
It's a very good face.
Behind the bookshelf, behind the closet, under the carpet, under the floor, above the ceiling, behind the wallpaper, inside the sofa, inside the chair, inside the bed, inside the blankets, inside the walls, inside a rock, inside a crag, inside the room.
Check.
Finished. Check. Finished. Check. Finished.
Check. Check. Check.
Finished. Finished. Finished.
Check. 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 Check.
Finished. 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 Die the death. Sentenced to death. The great equalizer is death.
That was awesome.
No locations would work against Lanor by this point. Lanor took Beato's final desperate onslaught head-on, turning everything back with the far stronger power of denial. Beat them up, knock them down with overwhelming force. No longer does any place exist in this study for Kinzo to escape to. Beato was blown back like a leaf dancing in the wind, knocked around over and over again like an empty can lying on a road. By now, no matter how many times Beato used the blue truth, it wouldn't be able to defeat Lanor's red.
Witches are so pathetic. You just try to talk your way out of things endlessly, trying to confuse the truth. Let me borrow Delanor's words. I'm disappointed, Beatrice-san.
Erica coldly delivered these decisive words to Beato, who was crawling on the ground.
Detective's authority, bitch. The detective has the right to inspect all crime scenes. I have exercised this right. Therefore, I can say this. Kinzo-san is not inside of this room. Furthermore, this room is a perfect closed room. From the above 2 points, I can state this fact. This room was empty the whole time. Natsuki-san lied about having met Kinzo-san here last night. That makes this checkmate, Beatrice-san. That's right, we got Socratic up in this bitch. How's that? Simply by the existence of this room, this level of reasoning is possible for Verudo Erica. What do you think, everyone?
At these words, the final wedge shattered. And at the same time, the pitch-black gate that was about to open shattered once again. This time the warp portal had been completely destroyed. No longer would Kinzo be permitted to exist in this room or escape from it. Beato struggled to her feet, but that was the best she could do. She no longer had the energy to fight. She had taken all of the denying red head-on from close range, took all of her strength just to withstand a pain so strong it felt like she'd vomit up all her insides. Even Beato, who had always aimed for the title of the strongest and most evil witch, couldn't do a thing against a witch hunter. No matter how sturdy a sandcastle you build on the beach, it can never win against the rising tide.
Sorry, Kinzo. Looks like this opponent really was tough after all. Beatrice, I thank you. You've done so much for me despite your remaining grudge. I guess it's true that your life flashes by when you see death coming. I've remembered how you once looked when you were young. You were annoyingly like Battler.
Hey, stop that!
I now pass on everything, my soul and the qualifications of the head, to Battler. I no longer have any regrets.
What? I didn't agree to this.
And yet, no one asked you.
What?
This is between me and Beatrice.
What? Clearly not. Isn't there someone else you forgot to ask?
Battler, my apologies. How pitiful. Though I swore to fight with you once again, I must settle my accounts like this.
Sorry, can I get a glass of water or something? To Beato, it seemed as though Battler had met her gaze. There was no way he could have. This Battler was the peace Battler. There was no way he could see Beato in this higher level world. However, his eyes really did meet hers. Even though they couldn't have, Beato was sure that they did. As Erica, Ava, and the others closed in on Natsuhi, questioning her over and over, only Battler stood apart from that tumult. His expression held none of the enthusiasm and excitement that the other humans had, just piercingly and coldly surveyed the scene. And the expression on his face was a quiet displeasure. Anger. He wasn't feeling compassion for Natsuhi because her lie was about to be exposed. However, he couldn't excuse Erica, a self-proclaimed intellectual rapist, who simply enjoyed cornering Natsuhi and those who sympathized with her. Then he whispered softly, "It's useless." Beato and the others definitely heard that.
You don't think Battler might turn things around from this weakened position? I probably could have done it back in the day, and Battler can probably do it. Battler, if you are indeed the man who will inherit everything from me, now is the time to prove it. Don't let the legend of the Golden Witch end here.
That was EP1, you dumbass.
Oh, I've lost track. Which one are we on?
5?
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's true, I met Father here last night. It's true. And he spoke to me of the Ushiromia family's glorious history as well as the burden of bearing it.
Your lie has already been exposed, Natsuhi-san. We already know that you were alone in this room last night. Isn't it about time to give up and confess? Culprits who are bad at giving up tend to go with bad mystery novels. At least in the end, please prove that this is a slightly better third-rate mystery than that.
I said it's useless. It's all useless. Battler, who had been silent off by himself up until then, spoke. At first, it sounded as though he was attacking Natsuhi. However, when Erica realized he was glaring directly at her, her expression visibly clouded with displeasure.
And just what are you calling useless?
If this is a third-rate mystery, then the detective's third-rate too. Listen up. I'm gonna become grandfather. Whoa!
Battler?
You'll become Kinzo-san? Saying you'll become Kinzo-san to reenact his disappearance from this room? You actually intend to deny my checkmate? You fool!
What is this man
Saying.
Hey, new Hey, new girls. This is your first game here, right? Sorry, but it's totally useless to call checkmate after a little something like that. Yeah, it's all useless. What the heck are you talking about, Battler? You say you'll become dad? Yeah. I'll reenact it. I'll become grandfather and disappear from this room.
You can't use the windows or the door, right? How would you do it?
Oh, did you find a hidden door?
Oh, I don't have a clue. I can't. I don't do it. I don't have a clue either. Oh, it's not a clue.
Rustle. That sound wasn't just the noise of the onlookers fidgeting. It was a provocative chill that ran up Erica's spine.
Interesting. I see. You're the successor to the Ushiromia family headship, the one who bears that head's ring. That should more than qualify you to stand in for Kinzo-san. Why don't you let us have a look at your theory?
Erica's expression was no longer a challenging smile. It was malicious, overwhelmingly displeased. She couldn't conceal her anger at having this very pleasurable time of hers ruined.
How will he get us out of here? I've got it. I see. So that move is still open.
So you finally figured it out, you damn geezer. Hidden doors and hiding under the bed, all that stuff is so pitiful it brings tears to the eyes. This is the Ushiromiya Kinzo we're talking about here. There's gotta be more thrilling and exciting answer.
Exactly. How pitiful that even I couldn't think of it, even though it was about me. And how pitiful that the only one of my relatives to understand me is Battler, the kid who's returned after being gone 6 years. Battler, take my place. Do not shame me.
Sure, Gramps. I'll teach these guests what the dignity of the Ushiromiya family head is all about.
What are you planning to do, father? Natsuhi, Beatrice, watch. We'll show you what being the Ushiromiya family head truly entails.
Alright, so did we already rule out hidden doors?
That Battler, what's he trying to prove?
There's no way he can do anything. This is a perfect closed room.
Aunt Natsuhi, come over here. Now, move as I tell you to, alright? Battler called Natsuhi over to the window and whispered something to her with his back towards the others.
Miss Delano, you're ready for everything, right? It's not possible for Kinzo and the witch to slip out of this room, right?
Of course.
Gertrude, Cornelia, in the palace,
Guards.
double check that the seal of this closed room is...
Perfect.
Please allow me to speak. Our barrier is perfect. Allow me to speak. There are no hidden doors, and escape will not be granted through either door or window. Palace guards, when Battler engages the barrier, fire arrows without hesitation. Chester Corps, Roger, Battler-sama, prepare yourself. Escaping from this room is impossible, but he'll do it, yeah. How? He's certain he can succeed without any basis. That's what it means to be the Ushiromiya head, yeah?
Oh, is that all it means? Alright then.
True. Let's watch.
Yeah. Let's see the majesties of
What was your...
Yeah, let's see the majesty of Richa's opponent.
Then I'll begin. Everyone nodded and watched Battler's every move. Grandfather was lying in bed like this, grunting his understanding of Aunt Natsuhi's daily report or whatever. Battler lay down on the bed himself. As if it still mattered now, Erica grumbled about disturbing the crime scene, but no one listened to her.
I mean, really, what if there was DNA evidence on it? You're gonna get yours all over it.
Then I stop answering and sleep. Well, realistically speaking, I probably get tired of all that talking and only pretend to be asleep.
You really do get it. I see that father has gone to sleep. Bow silently and leap.
Natsuhi lowered her head to Battler, who was still lying down in the bed, and turned around. Then she started wandering around as though doing an inspection of the room. Seeing that grandfather was asleep, Aunt Natsuhi probably did an inspection of the room before leaving. Of course, she had Shannon-chan and the others to clean it every day, but she still checked it thoroughly herself, making sure there was no dust piling up, making sure he hadn't run out of any consumables.
Yeah, gotta make sure he's stocked up on Maxim tomatoes.
Wait, what? Why would he need Maxim tomatoes? Is he going around Kirbying stuff? What? Oh my god! Kirby with Kinzo hair! Oh, Jesus, no!
Yes, this is the room of the precious family head, so I check everything carefully myself instead of relying entirely on the servants. I always do that. That's true, madam. Usually checks things very carefully.
Is this what we're going with now? Fine. Inspections are very detailed, and she also checks all the consumables in the washroom, one by one.
I make sure he has a phoenix down as well, in case he needs to revive.
That would come in very handy in this case. Maybe about 2 years ago. I mean... In other words, we aren't just talking dust on the windowsill like you see all the time on TV. She checks to see if there's enough soap and toilet paper in the washroom, though she probably doesn't have to do it each day. She's very devoted.
That is my routine. I mustn't slack off in my inspection of the head's room for even a single day.
So, what's your point? Please keep any showing off to a minimum. That's my job.
I'm sorry, Battler, but it is her job and not yours. Isn't getting to show off the biggest perk to being a detective?
Yeah, but I'm the detective. Me!
Anyway, since we're inside the study, you can probably tell, but even though we call it a study, it wouldn't be wrong to call it a second house inside the mansion. It has a sleeping room, a study, a washroom, and even a toilet and a bath. In other words, it isn't a single room. You could call it a full house.
Thank you for the explanation of the room's
Layout.
However, the move of having him hide somewhere in this room has already been
Defeated.
He isn't hiding. However, there's got to be several blind spots. For example, if Aunt Natsuhi went into the bathroom to check the amount of toilet paper, most of the study would be outside her range of vision. In other words, for almost every location in the study, the sole observer would have disappeared.
Observer disappearance. We've lost track of Kinzo. Let it be said that the witch's darkness is filling the study. Excellent. Watch as it fills with the power of darkness.
So? If Natsuhi goes away, then so what? What next?
When Grandfather noticed the fussy Aunt Natsuhi leaving, he got up.
Why?
On a twisted night such as this, what better way to enjoy a drink than bathed in twisted weather under the night sky?
Since Aunt Natsuhi's in the blind spot of the bathroom, it becomes possible for Grandfather to walk about the study at will. It was possible for him to move without Natsuhi's knowledge. It was possible for him to move without contradicting what Natsuhi knew.
Warning, battler is approaching the study door. Allow me to speak. A noise rings out when the lock on the study door is released. Know that you cannot leave through the door without Natsuhi thinking something was odd.
Because Battler had acted as though he was heading for the door, Gertrude, who was sealing at the door, immediately sent out a warning. Maybe it was possible for him to leave the study while in Natsuhi's blind spot, however...
That's right, there's the sound. We all know there's a loud sound when the auto lock is released. Even if Natsuhi was in a blind spot inside the study, she wouldn't miss hearing that. Of course she'd find it odd.
Allow me to speak. Let it be said that Natsuhi did not hear the sound of the door opening while in the room.
The washroom and toilet are very close to the door. Even if they hadn't been, that auto lock always lets off such a massive sound. She'd be able to hear that sound no matter what. Natsuhi had already spoken with Erica and the others about the details of the previous night, making it quite clear that nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. Any argument that relied on Natsuhi failing to hear the lock wouldn't work.
Please, allow me to speak once more. Kinzo entering or exiting through the door will not be permitted. Let it be said that this is a useless struggle. It is foolish.
It's true I can't break through the red of that girl by the door. But what about you over there by the window? Turning his back to Gertrude, who claimed that leaving through the door was impossible, Battler locked his gaze on Cornelia, who stood in front of the window. Make sure you hold that barrier of yours up tight, because you're going to be blasted away, okay? By now, Battler's target was clear. I don't know if this should be Meta Battler, but it's not, so I don't know. It was Cornelia it was the window. He was going to smash this closed room from the window.
I'm distracted by how it looks like the line of buttons on Battler's lapel continues up onto her sleeve.
Right? Oh, you know what we didn't do yet?
What?
Ha! They have the same fucking skirt design as the stakes.
Yeah.
Wow, what the fuck? Not expecting to be chosen as the target herself, Cornelia was overawed for just a second, but she quickly regained her composure. On rare occasions, struggling, fleeing witches would directly challenge the barriers Cornelia set up. Such witches were always fighting desperately on the brink of death.
Please, allow me to speak. You are Battler's target, Cornelia. I ask that you be on your guard. Fool, God have pity on this foolish lamb.
Okay, cool. That checks out. I'm no sheep. I'm using Meta Battler voice and you can't stop me. At the head of the Ushuramiya family is an eagle with one way. Well, hold on. Well, maybe that's not the... You know what? Let's just move on. Don't think you can keep me shut up in this study forever with just a flimsy window like that. Starting from a low posture, both silent and supple, Battler ran forward like a white leopard. What a strange... Alright.
This guy couldn't possibly mean to.
This is... allow me to speak. There is no way to defeat my red. Know that your wish will not be granted.
Cornelia thrust out both her arms and made a sign. When she did, a red barrier closed in front of Battler.
Know that your course is a fruitless one, Ushuramiya Battler. Know that this window is sealed from the inside, and Natsuhi did not help Kinzo escape.
I'm not saying that Aunt Nazi helped grandfather escape, but what if grandfather snuck out, keeping a secret from Aunt Nazi?
Why would Kinzo go out the window on his own?
What better way to enjoy a drink on a twisted night than leaping through the rain-swept skies?
But this is the 3rd floor, right? It's impossible.
Even you've jumped down a flight of stairs at least once in your life, right? 3 stories is nothing for Kinzo.
I certainly wouldn't either. Ooh, why are we here?
Everyone arguing like, yeah, that Kinzo, he totally would jump out a window for no reason. Yeah, that tracks.
That's ridiculous.
Blue cracks appeared in Cornelia's red barrier, and it shattered with a crisp sound. It was far too quick. It looked almost as though she'd gotten out of the way herself in fear of Battler.
Endless 9. Magic resistance power. Endless 9. Cornelia-sama, you can't block it. Retreat.
At the same time the barrier shattered, the window behind Cornelia's back was flung open. The curtains fluttered for just an instant. Though it was all filled with rain, the heavens in the courtyard were spread out in front of them, a fitting exit for an eagle leaping from this closed room. What do you look like?
Smaller and angrier.
Smaller. I appreciate the small, angry character design. Oh, it's not an arm cannon. It's a gauntlet that's shaped like a rook.
Oh, huh.
Okay, it's a gauntlet, not an arm. I thought she was kind of like Mega Man.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to believe she's still like Mega Man.
She is.
Okay, that
we'll go with that.
In my heart. Cornelia, repair the
Barrier.
As you wish, Commander Delanor. Know that you will not be allowed to break this.
Cornelia quickly returned to her senses and set up another red barrier. However, this was her last one.
Please, allow me to speak. Let us accept for the time being that Kinzo escaped through the window. In that case, how did he lock the window, which cannot be locked from the outside? The window was locked from the inside. Useless.
Yeah, it's all useless. Kinzo and Battler grinned. Did she think this feeble red could block the charge of Battler and Kinzo, the 2 family heads? After grandfather jumped out of the window, Aunt Nazi probably noticed a slight draft. She then approached the window, realized it was wide open, then quickly closed and locked it.
Nazi couldn't have imagined that I'd slip out the window.
Yeah, so it's only natural that Aunt Nazi thought Kinzo was sleeping in bed. Now that Battler had found the answer, the red barrier was more fragile than thin glass. The red magical wall of certainty had been smashed again so easily that it disgraced the name of certainty itself. Unbelievable, right? The barrier was no more firm than any Ronove had ever used against Jessica, and yet had been destroyed so easily. It's a weird Ronove had used against Jessica. Let's come back to that.
That one time that they had the fist fight?
All right, they fist.
That's the only time. It's a weird thing to reference.
Yeah, it really is. Though Battler was rushing fiercely and had almost reached Cornelia, she didn't step aside. Her steel spirit, worthy of the name Eisern Jungfrau, didn't allow her to step aside. She took a charm from her pocket, placed it against the thin air, and made a sign. Then not red, but blue burned there. It was far more frail than the red barrier. It was her last method of resistance.
You won't get through. You won't. Let me speak. Let me speak. Be that as it may, this is the 3rd floor. How could a wingless human escape from the window? Know that you won't get through. You won't. Just quit your whining and watch.
This is the answer! No! Battler jumped. He burst through Cornelia and her blue barrier, knocked them away, and his body flew out the window through the darkness of the rainy sky.
Is Battler going to use magic?
Battler jumps out the fucking window. Wait, did he really do this?
Probably not.
And yet, we just unlocked an achievement that says break free. The fragments of the blue barrier scattered, beautifully adorning the surrounding air. The closed room had been smashed open. Battler flew out of the mansion. Through the sky above the rainy courtyard, all the raindrops became small round gems and were scattered through the air. Battler flew across the treasure box world of that exquisite stormy sky, through the countless gems of rain that filled it.
Battler's finally magic.
I told you. I fucking told you.
You fucking got there. It just took until the answer arcs. You were right.
Yep. Well, yeah. In the sky over the world, frozen in time, Delanor and Battler faced each other. If Battler, who had smashed and flown out the window, was like a knight leading off a white horse, Then Delanor was another knight who floated in the air waiting for him. In the air above the courtyard, surrounded by the Ushiromiya mansion and frozen in time, the true new head of the Ushiromiya family and the disciple of heaven who would test him crossed paths. Well
Done.
When you fall into the courtyard, whether you live or die, it won't change the fact that Kinzo could have defeated this closed
Room.
You have thrown away your life and jumped Aura.
Martyr.
Well done. You have smashed our closed room.
Barrier.
Splendid, Ushiromiya battler. However, I am the head inquisitor of heresy, Delanor A. Knox. I cannot allow you to escape out from under my
Nose.
Now, at the end, allow me the honor of crossing swords with
You.
Sure, bring it on. This game is surprisingly unrelenting. And this, you don't say. I'm a little exhausted from all the voices over here, but we'll get there. In this world where the gems of rain fell slowly like large snowflakes on a snowy field, Delanor and Battler slowly crossed paths. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll, tuck and roll! It seemed slow, and yet it happened in a flash. Their gazes crossed and clashed like lightning. Knight confronted knight head-on, and everything would be settled with a single strike. Blue and red crossed paths. Was it shown beforehand that a blind spot existed within the study for Natsuhi? If it wasn't shown, this theory will not be permitted. Knox is 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not
Presented.
It was. It absolutely was, is the thing. We absolutely had this come up at some point in the previous game boards. Delanor's double strike with both the blue and red blades reached out to slice Battler and failed. Those long swords, which had never lost over the course of 100 battles, cut through empty air. When we entered the study, its structure was clearly described. Too bad for you.
He can use the red now.
He can. He can. Well, he always could, but... For the first time, an expression showed on Delanor's face. It was a sudden smile. She had known about that long before. However, she couldn't let him escape without attempting that single strike. Not even with her reputation as an inquisitor of heresy on the line. She still crossed swords with Battler, even though she knew it would fail. Yes, I
Knew.
With your answer, Knox's 8th is not
Violated.
Here it comes. No hard feelings, okay? Yes.
Come.
In Battler's hand was a blade that shone red. That blade etched out the red truth. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa he created inside of the mansion. A study, a library, a place to sleep, in a bathroom and a washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That has already been shown, and it suggests that there could have been a blind spot somewhere within the room. I fucking love that Buster Sword sound for that one. That was good. Without any mercy, no, without any reluctance, which would have been dishonorable. The sword of red truth cut into Delanor. It cut a beautiful hemisphere through the countless gems of rain that filled the sky. Well...
Done.
Nothing personnel, kid. Time exploded into life. Both of them fell through the courtyard. One drifted down, the other tumbled through the air. Then there was a soft sound and a dull thud. Ow! Medic! I think I have a cranium injury. Words. The first sound of Battler landing gently in the courtyard. The second was the sound of Delanor crashing down. After crouching down for a while, Battler slowly stood up. Though he had jumped down from the 3rd floor, he had landed as lightly as though he had merely jumped over a fence.
Battler.
Beato leaned out of the study window, looking to see if the supposedly wingless Battler had landed safely. Beato, come on, jump!
Huh?
That window is our way out, so jump! You aren't the kind of witch who could be locked up inside a closed room, right? The study was no longer a closed room. She could jump from here, escape from here. By now, the closed room that had threatened to capture the witch and suffocate her had been destroyed.
Yes. You too, Kinzo. Go. From the moment Battler showed his answer, my spirit had already escaped from this room.
Later, bitch.
Kinzo's form became a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. The closed room barrier had dissolved and the power that denies magic had scattered. Beato ran towards the window. That was the only exit from the closed room of this witch hunt. After glancing at the Chester sisters and the subordinates of the Inquisitor of Heresy, she readied her wound-covered body and ran towards the window just like Battler had done. She looked like Cinderella running as she heard the bell toll.
There's no way we'll let you escape, Beatrice, illusion of the witch.
Erica flew at Beato, trying to latch onto Beato as she dashed, but it was like trying to catch smoke, and she landed face first on the floor. There was no way a human could catch a witch. For one such as her, without love, even touching Beato was impossible.
Chester Corp, shoot the witch, shoot her dead!
Alignment conflict, unable to fire. Allow me to speak. I have no barrier prepared that can block Battler's blue truth.
Both Chester Double O and Gertrude spoke with unbelievably calm voices.
No one can stop them, not Battler, not Kinzo, not Beatrice. If these guys manage to escape my closed room, my theory. I'm the detective Fruto, Erica.
Erica crouched, screaming and clutching at her head. The Great Golden Witch isn't going to be defeated by something like that geezer's grubby study. It's still just the first Twilight, bench. I'll show these newcomers that your game isn't that easy. Just like Battler, Beato also flew. She drifted down through the rain, treasure box whirled into Battler's chest. Battler caught her with both arms as though catching a feather from an angel.
Aww.
Oh, okay. You were slightly more heavy than a feather. I didn't buckle though. I'm still standing, technically. It was like a knight catching a princess who had been locked up in a tower. Like a beautiful picture of a scene in some fairy tale. Instead of a princess, it was a loud, obnoxious witch who called Battler names. If I read that fairy tale in childhood, I think my growing up would have been very different, huh?
Crap, I think I'm in love. Are all the Ushiromi family heads like this? Think he's single?
If you were to write down the unprecedented feats of Ushiromi Kinzo, you would probably have an uproarious tale longer than all the grimoires in the study put together. It seems the tale of the next head will be worth writing down as well. In fact, it is already being written. It is already a very, very long tale.
It's called Umineko no Nakukoro ni.
When the demons giggled on top of the roof holding umbrellas. Then they quietly looked down over the two in the courtyard.
You're not bad at all.
I guess your games have toughened me up. In shock, Beato actually praised Battler as he held her in his arms. Battler cried in his usual carefree way.
This is impossible, it's impossible!
Erica looked down from the window and clenched her teeth, still clutching at her head. Still holding Beato in his arms, Battler grinned back. Erica!
What?
I'm not giving the riddle of the Golden Witch to you. I'll solve it. That riddle belongs to the two of us. Right, Beato?
Indeed. My riddle is...
Yo? When Battler laughed evilly, Beato's face turned uncharacteristically red. But even so, she spoke while laughing loudly.
My riddle is yours. Yours alone. Ushiromi Battler. I won't let anyone else solve it.
Why does it sound like we're talking about something else? Listen to her saying something like that. Battler snorted, amused that Beato had said something so out of character. And still holding Beato in his arms, he spun around in a kind of waltz. The falling gems of rain celebrated their victory over this trial. Cut back to reality, Battler's head smashed on the ground, neck broken.
He jumped down from the third story and he's all right? He jumped down and escaped from the closed room? This is ridiculous. This isn't reasoning, it's insane.
If Battler had been at least seriously injured and writhing in the mud, Erica might still have had some ground to stand on. She might have been able to claim that Kinzo couldn't have jumped down with his old body and gotten away unscathed. However, Battler stood calmly in the courtyard, looking up at Erica with the dignity of the victor.
Everyone, I'll ask. One more time. This is impossible, right? There's no way a human could jump down from a 3rd story and land unharmed. Isn't that right, everyone? Much less Kinzo-san jumping down the 3rd floor at his age. This isn't reasoning.
Erica tried to get everyone's agreement and somehow turn things around, but their responses were no different from how they'd been a short while ago.
Possible for Kinzo-san.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Father.
This is Father we're talking about.
Everyone's like, yeah, that does track. He did jump out of high windows from time to time and was usually fine,
It
yeah.
was very strange, actually. Like, he wouldn't actually get injured from the fall, but he'd have, like, a lot of glass in his hands. It was really uncomfortable when he started. Well, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't go there at this.
There's plenty of crazy stories about that man. Something like this wouldn't surprise me a bit.
What the fuck? Is there something wrong with your heads or your brains, people?
At any rate, it looks like your closed room argument wasn't perfect.
Not only the servants, but the family members also agreed. They all agreed that there was nothing strange about Kinzo jumping down from a 3rd floor window. Just who in the world is this Ushiromiya Kinzo person?
Well, I'll give you 60 points. Kinzo would have done it with a bit more flash in his younger days. It needs some more tweaking.
Oh, and how much should be tweaked?
Well,
You want to see me tweak for you right now?
well, he might have jumped down with me in his arms.
Got it. Next time I'll do that then.
If you think you can, just you try.
Well, is that impressive? Okay, I'll, if that's what's impressive, I'll try that then. Why are you looking at me with that face of yours? Why are you all blushing and stuff? What? I don't get it. Would someone explain to me what's going on? I'm not really good at subtext. Beato's voice grew very faint, and she gulped. Then her body suddenly crumpled away into a cloud of gold butterflies. That was because many people had rushed up to the window, and she was being bathed with gazes filled with the anti-magic toxin. Beato's body became invisible to them and melted into the air, so to their eyes it appeared that Battler was standing all alone out in the courtyard. Yo, Battler, are you okay? If you're not okay and I can inherit the headship from you, just say nothing, alright? What? No, I'm fine. It was probably just the wind. No, it's not the wind, you fucker. Well, can you blame a man for trying?
It looks like he's fine. Thank goodness.
I have...
Lost.
In that case, for the benefit of those people in the study as well, deliver your final blow to
Me.
Use your final blue truth to show how Kinzo could have escaped from the closed room of that
Study.
Sorry, a bit of my lunch came up back
There.
There was no pain in Delanor's expression. Pleasure and pain never showed up on her face in the first place. However, she was only barely able to rise to her feet, using her long sword as a crutch, so it was easy to guess at how heavily she'd been damaged. And despite her lack of an expression, you could tell that this was a loss she could accept. Battler and Delanor turned to face each other. Here I go. Yes, yes.
Come.
As though readying herself, Delanor quietly closed her eyes, but she still stood tall and maintained her air of dignity. This is my blue truth. The blue power gathered. Battler slowly approached Delanor. Then he faced the rainy sky and yelled at the blue truth. Ushiromiya Kinzo escaped from the study through the window when Aunt Natsuhi couldn't see him. Aunt Natsuhi didn't notice and locked the window. In this way, Aunt Natsuhi saw Grandfather go to bed. Yet Grandfather was able to escape from the study without contradicting the lock of the window, nor the door sealed by the receipt. They have just demonstrated that it was physically possible for him to escape. Therefore, this battle is over. The blue wedge flashed through the courtyard along with a bolt of blue lightning, roaring down towards Lanora's forehead as she stared up at the sky.
Huh.
Beato's game isn't forgiving. It's doubtful whether the classic patterns of the mystery genre even work here. Your swordsmanship isn't bad, but you ought to be a bit more flexible in your thinking. A massive blue wedge that looked like a pillar was above Delanor's forehead, and had stopped with its tip just slightly touching her. It didn't run her through. It made no mark larger than being poked with a pencil. When Battler snapped his fingers, the blue wedge shattered and became a shower of translucent gems. No drops of rain that poured down over the courtyard. Delanor sat down in a dazed sort of way. Amidst the thunder and rain, the successor to the Ushiromiya family headship faced the people staring down from the study and spread his arms wide. Welcome to Beato's and my game. Welcome, Furudo Erica. Is that girl all right? I'm just kind of worried about her. She's been writhing and foaming at the mouth for the past 20 minutes.
I hear that's normal around that age.
What do you understand about young girls growing up, Hideyoshi?
How amusing, Ushiromiya battler. Good. Truly good. I'll chew it to bits. I'll chew this riddle of the wish all the way deep into its guts while it's still alive.
Battler and Beato both looked calmly up at Erica, who couldn't contain her evil laugh.
This is good stuff. Erica, that was so crappy.
The Burn Castle. My apologies.
That look on your face. It's so incredibly laughable that I'd like to smash it and put a frame around it. My double is so terrible at this game. Bathed in the sneers of Burncastle, a being who was like a mother to her, Erica was so ashamed that it looked as though she'd chew her lower lip to pieces.
Someday I'll definitely Ushiromiya battler. Beatrice. Ushiromiya Nazi.
That's the only way I can express her, like, yelling with that kind of a voice. Like, it's just the only way it works.
Yeah.
The riddle is ours. I won't let anyone get in the way, Beatrice.
Yes.
Also, does anyone have, like, a brace for my knee? Like, I'm fine, but I feel like maybe some cartilage or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's gonna suck in, like, 30 years. Definitely won't be able to walk that one off. Well, that chapter took for...
I feel like I wouldn't be fine if I jumped for a third story window.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You'd have to be in very good physical health to do that, but, like...
Even if you were, like, that window looks pretty high up.
Yeah.
Then again, people have fallen out of airplanes and lived.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's physically possible. It doesn't mean it's plausible, but it's physically possible. Anyway, it looks like we're going to the Golden Land after next time.
Yeah, meet us next time in the Golden Land.
Meet us next time in the Golden Land. I'm gonna go fucking take a break. That was a fucking marathon. Like, comment, subscribe, please.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.